touchdown, back on road, counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode, just touchdown, back on road, counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode.
JT, I appreciate you coming to the Barcode Podcast, man. I got this platform to give everyone, they flowers and stuff, man. And I really do appreciate you, coming on the show, taking me and the audience, you know what I'm saying, on your journey. Because you got a long, nice resume, dude, and you well respected in the city. So, before we get started, of course, I got to say, NICOLET High School alumni, UWM alumni, on top of a Sweet 16 appearance. And we
Please say the Hall of Fame. Please say the UWM Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my bad. The UW Hall of Fame. Top 8 in scoring ever, right? On the UW list.
7, please say 7. It's all good.
Okay, 7. My bad.
Yeah.
Talk your stuff, bro. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? And we can't forget that you're a 5-time pro and you're an entrepreneur, man. Thank you for coming to the Barcode Podcast, man. Joah Tucker, man.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. It's an honor to be on here, man. Like I said, I done caught some of your some of your previous episodes, man. I want to say shout out to all the legends and all the people that came on and got down already with you. And it's a dope lane, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, you already know, JT, before we start, I got some true false questions, dog. So, yeah. The first one, man, is...
I might plead the fifth on some of them. I don't know. I might plead the fifth. I'm going to try to give you everything I got.
Yeah. The first one is, a snail can sleep for 3 months.
A snail can sleep for 3 months. That seemed like something that could go dormant. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with true.
Yeah, that's true, JT.
I'm gonna go with true. Yeah.
They can sleep up to 3 years, bro. Ain't that crazy?
That's crazy. I'm in the business of real estate, and I know more facts about bed bugs than the average human. So bed bugs can go dormant. They can sleep for a long time, man. Like I said, I got an education that not many people got, but yeah, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, I've already known. A cow gives nearly 200,000 glasses of milk in a lifetime.
I'm gonna go 200,000 glasses of milk in a lifetime. It's probably 10 glasses in a gallon, 200,000. I'm gonna go true on that.
That's true, JT. You too.
Yeah. They giving it up. No, they giving it up.
Yeah.
I'm 2 for 2. I'm 2 for 2. Let's
2
get it.
for 2, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, last one, JT. There is a world championship for throwing mobile cell phones. Man,
it's 2022. I really want to go with false, but anything possible these days, man. I seen cornhole on ESPN the other day, so you said a national championship. I'm going false, man. I'm going false.
Damn, JT, it's true.
It don't surprise me, man. 2022, man, you get on TV doing anything these days, man. So, yeah. I'm 2 for 3, man. I'm supposed to be 3 for 3. That's fine, man.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you for participating in that. Now we're about to really get into it, JT.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you remember when we first met. I do. Let me tell you the respect that I have for you, JT. I met you, always heard your name, but I met you in the open gym and we played. Right. And I played very, very hard against you. I was competing. And the number one thing that stuck out to me at that time was, who the hell is this dude? And you talking about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you wound up giving me my props, because fast forwarding, I played in the all county with the UWM team. Yeah. So I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you and how much I respect you, because I just remember being on the bench at all county and you was like, put Q in. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, these are UW guys and he want me? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to bring that story up. Just the fact you didn't know who I was, but I knew who you were. And that's why I played so hard, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been hearing your name, you know, for so long. So I got a chance to play against you and to get your respect, man. It's an honor, dude.
Oh yeah, and we, you know, we got the same body type, man. We come from the same club. How many? I'm about to be 40. How many years you behind me?
I'm 36.
So you really not that far. You know, you're not that far behind me. So I think it's you know, something I think that's dope about this lane is it's gonna educate some of the younger people about later generations. You know what I mean? You was Bill in them class. You know, you was Nick in them class, right? That was in the same year.
Yeah.
Them was all my young boys coming up. So I'm familiar with them. But it's like sometimes you don't know the people ahead of you. And I think that's what I really like about this is it's beneficial to know the people ahead of you because sometimes they've been where you've been. You know, sometimes it might be a good idea to go holler at them people and kind of figure out where they've been and how they got their stuff off and how they are able to move around the city and move out throughout the country and all that. So yeah, it's dope. You know, just like I'm 4 years your senior, I had some guys I looked up to 4 or 5 years my senior who I kind of patterned some of my game after in a whole nine. So man, I'm glad to be that for somebody else as well, man. So that's dope for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You already know JT all day. And speaking of, who influenced you to play basketball?
Who influenced me to play ball, man? It's funny because really I'm first generation. So really I ain't had nobody in my family play no college basketball, no sports. So when I played, man, I actually watched whoever got this Vincent, you know, this Vincent tape out, all these VHSs, they the GOAT. Whoever she is, she the GOAT. So I got a chance to see my high school game, my last high school game against Vincent at the V House. We lost, I don't know if it was to go upstate, maybe a game before going upstate. And you know, just watching the game, man, it's like we play hard, man. Like we play real basketball. And now, you know, I'm an old head, so I'm always gonna talk about the younger generation, but like I feel like the basketball was different. We played harder. And like I just played, like I was telling Deontay the other day, we talked about the game, and I never played trying to get no college scholarship. That just wasn't part of my, you know, I mean, it wasn't even what I was thinking about. We just played because we love the game. And then we so happened to get good where them opportunities came. And I think now everything's so widespread where people focus on getting a full ride and going here and doing this and doing that. It's like, it's a little different for what people play for. So, I mean, who I looked up to, man, a lot of the OGs and a lot of the OGs in the city of Milwaukee. You know, my sister, my brother both went to King. So a lot of the King, you know, the Deontay Flanorals, the Jimmy Fosters, you know, the Terry Blacks, the Ravonte Danzers. I got, man, throughout my whole life, basketball, outside of basketball, I got tremendous OGs in my life, you know what I mean? And I definitely want to give shout out and flowers to all them guys because, you know, without them, I'm not who I am. So I got great OGs on all walks of life. So I'm proud of that. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, for sure, dude, JT. And the names that you just mentioned, like them dudes, them greats, you know,
Yeah.
I want them to come to the platform as well.
Oh yeah, and I think it's important you get some of them guys from that era, the Sanjays, the T Blacks, you know, all them guys went crazy, and they was really part of the guys of Milwaukee that really start opening that door because I think you don't gonna have guys from every era, all type of eras. You know, I'm about to be 40. I know you had Q-Mont on here. Shout out to Q-Mont. He my era, but it's like we was kind of middle of that. You know, the T Blacks and the Marshalls and the James, they was really kind of the Jose Winstons, all them guys. Them was like the first guys. I was kind of in the middle. So when I was coming out, man, guys wasn't getting full rides to high majors like that. Not how they get them now. You know, the times done totally changed. And a lot of the guys I went to school with, you know, a lot of the guys in my class got big rides. Some of them had to go to JUCO, but the college coaches wasn't coming into the city recruiting like they are now. The Milwaukee is no, you know, I mean, it ain't no secret about Milwaukee. It's wide open in Milwaukee. So I'm glad to be part of the people that, you know, help put Milwaukee on the map that way for sure.
Man, and JT, I'm so glad you said that, bro. And that's a big part of the reason. Like, that's what I just been telling everybody, you know, like I'm doing this podcast because Milwaukee, we always got the short end of the stick. Because, you know, when it comes to Wisconsin, you know, they like, oh, it's black people there. Oh, it's cow. You know, they just think it's cow, cheese, beer, and white folks.
Yeah.
And not knowing that we have some of the best talent, best guards to come out of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And this is another thing I say too, JT. and it's no knock to like the Jordan Poole and the Tyler Heroes and Looney, none of them. But I know y'all opened the door for, you know what I'm saying, for the next generation. And I want people to understand where this blueprint, where it really started from, bro, and why people are coming to Milwaukee, coaches coming to Milwaukee to come see players now and giving out full ride. It's because of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got to go on the record and say, our class, 2001, the best class in the history of Wisconsin. And I know I'm gonna probably take some flack on that, but whoever want to debate it, we can debate it. We had a lot of players. So, it wasn't our generation that did it. I feel like when I look back, I look at like the James Wrights, the Jose Winstons, like Marshall Williams went to North Carolina State. Guys wasn't getting ACC rides out of Milwaukee. Nobody. So really that class, that was like 98. That's when it really started. That's when it really started happening. And I know some guys before that. Jose went to Colorado. I know some guys before that, maybe 96, 90, 95, 96 at that time. But when Marshall and them, Jay Wright went to Oklahoma State, he signed at Oklahoma State. So when them guys start signing, that's when the doors start opening. And then we kicked it in. They cracked it, and then we kicked it in. It's out of here after that. So around that time, 95, 96 to about the time I was in, then it started opening up because the young guys and, the older guys, we not looking for no credit, but we definitely was part of the time where we were putting Milwaukee on the map and letting people know it's plenty of talent in Milwaukee. Make sure when you come to Chicago, make sure you come into Milwaukee and throw some money around, get some guys some rides, man. We deserve it as well. So, I'm proud to be part of that time in Milwaukee.
Yeah, for sure. Now, JT, how talented that you are, and I feel like you could have went to any high school in the state of Wisconsin and let alone Milwaukee. Why did you choose NICOLET High School?
Yeah, this is not even a funny story, but I think this is an interesting story and I think it's it's very prevalent now. A lot of kids are doing it, but man, my mom, I went to NPS, so I went to Burroughs. I went to Burroughs with G Brown. I know you had G Brown on here. Me, G Brown, Pat Rogers, Deontay Moses went to Bayview. And Freddie went to Washington. Went to Wisconsin. So we was all at Burroughs. So the feeder school was with Vincent. So man, my sister, my brother went to King, and I was trying to get into King. I had good grades, and I didn't get accepted into King. And my mom was just all about the education. She was all about the education. She wanted me to go to NICOLET, and then they had nothing to do with sports. She wanted me to go get a better education. So, man, I fought it tooth and nail, man. I was ripping up acceptance letters, all type of stuff, man, trying to get out of there. I came home one day. My mom, like, I got good news for you. I'm like, what's up? She like, you got it in NICOLET? I'm like, man, I ripped up so many letters trying not to go there. So, man, when I got to NICOLET, man, I hated NICOLET. It was tough for me. It was culture shock, big time, And as years went on, a couple years went by, maybe year and a half went by, I kind of got to feeling it a little bit more and kind of understood what it was all about. But it's one of them things like in life for the kids, like I hated it. I didn't think my mom knew what she was doing. And it's one of the best things ever happened to me. And I would have loved to go to NICOLET or go to Vincent or go to King. If I went to King, I'd have been cool. And I really would have balanced everything out because during my time, it was a little uneven. King was good, but, it really wasn't no team that could compete with Vincent for the most part. Washington was real good during that time, but I really would have balanced the scales out. But, it all happened for a reason. But I know that if I'd have went to Vincent and didn't go to NICOLET, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't be in this position. I know that that's a fact for sure.
I like to hear that. That's true. You know what I'm saying? Different.
And that was beyond me. Like, I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that. I know I would have had some I probably had a shorty. Man, I'd have probably had some shorties. Man, it'd have been all type of wild stuff going on, man. So, at the time I wasn't feeling it, but, looking back as an adult, it's one of the best things ever happened to me for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and NICOLET, a great school, but coming from the inner city, being around your own culture and then going, and it's like a mixture of cultures, that can be tough. I'm already knowing.
Yeah, so, I shout out NPS. I'm a product of NPS. I came up that way, but I know what it was like in NPS too, as well. I know the things that went on and other things that happened. And like I said, man, I got tons of respect for NPS and love all my people that came from NPS. But for me, you know, it got me assimilated to like the real world sooner. You know what I mean? It got me used to some things that I needed to get used to for the bigger picture. So like I say, it worked out well. Moms knew what she was talking about. I didn't think she did. I wasn't feeling it at all, but she knew what she was doing.
Yeah. Now in the back, now you go to NICOLET. Now in the basketball world, around that time, if you can remember, did you get backlash from like your peers? Like, oh, you going to that school? Did you feel like you was getting a lot of backlash from other people?
Nah, no backlash. Like, you know, everybody understand at that time, like, you know, for one, I ain't controlling it. It was moms, you know, it's my parents. But it's like, you know, everybody understand it. Everybody got to take their own path. And like I say, now you look at NICOLET, you look at the East Bay Jays and all them guys and guys switching schools, going to suburban schools for not only the education, but the basketball as well. You know, so now it's like I say, now it's common ground. It's common that people do it. But, you know, it really wasn't no room at a lot of these schools. Like, I mean, obviously, wherever I went, I was gonna be good. And it's crazy because I ran into guys like some years after I graduated. He like, Tucker, why didn't you call me? I would have got you in the King. I'm like, man, I ain't know nothing about you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know I could call and make the call and say, man, I'm trying to get into school. You know, it was all lottery. So they didn't care about, you know, JT that could play basketball. It was just your name was on the card, you didn't get picked, boom, you moving on, you going somewhere else. So it's kind of, when I speak to the kids, I try to do as much mentoring as I can. When I speak to the kids, I talk about trajectory a lot. And it's like a lot of times in your life, you hit a point and, you know, they teach you about the crossroads and all that. And that was a point in my life that changed the trajectory of my life. It changed where I was going. And like I said, I would have went to Vincent or King. Like if I didn't went to King or Vincent, I'd have been fine, you know, but like I say, I wouldn't have been as far along as I am, more than likely not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right. Yep. So you go there and I'm pretty sure you playing varsity all gate, right?
Yeah. So, you know, when I went there, they was playing me half and half. So, you know, see, this is the thing at suburban schools. A lot of times at suburban schools, like they got a long line of people who've been playing. They done been to the middle school, the feeder school. So a lot of times it's people in line that parents done put money in, and, you know, it's politics at suburban schools that people don't fully understand. And now it's probably a little bit different. But like when I was in school, they got people that been playing since 6th grade. You know what I mean? They're going to be on the varsity team. So when I got there, I was good enough to play varsity, but they wanted to play me half and half. I ended up linking up with like the Drew twins and a couple of my homeboys that went to NICOLET, and we was playing JV. So they was playing me half JV, half varsity, but you can only play 4 quarters. I told them, man, don't play me. I don't want to play varsity at all. Just play me JV. We getting down here. And if you match us up against the varsity guys, we gonna run at them boys. So just leave me on JV. You know, I played varsity at the end of the year, but I played JV my freshman year. And I was good enough to play with them guys. Like I say, they just had a lot of guys. They had a lot of tradition that they had going on. So I played varsity my last 3 years.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. Who was all on that when you was an incoming freshman? Who was all on that team with you coming in as a freshman? I know you just brought up the twins, right?
So the twins was a year ahead of me. So I ain't had nobody play basketball at my school, really. It was all football players who just played basketball. So nobody I played on my basketball team really played basketball. They was just athletes. So I was at NICOLET Dolo. I was at NICOLET Solo Dolo. It was some guys who played. So I had a kid named Tanner Bronson. Tanner Bronson was my point guard. That the footage that's up when we played Vincent my senior year, he was a sophomore. So he was a couple years behind me. He was small. He was a player though. I think he walked on at Wisconsin. He was a player. He coaching now. So he was just slight of frame and he was young, but he could go. So he played ball, but he was a sophomore. So he was years behind me. But then Dan Grunfeld came to NICOLET, and that nigga saved my life. He saved my life. Like he came, I remember coach called me. He like, man, Joe, I got some news for you. I'm like, what's up? He like, we got a basketball player. I'm like, who, what's happening? He like, the Bucks GM, his name is Ernie Grunfeld. And at this time, I ain't know nothing about Ernie Grunfeld. He like, Ernie Grunfeld played in the league. You know, he tell me all his bio. He like, they coming in from, I think they was coming in from, he went to DC afterward. I forgot where they was coming in from, but he gave me his number right away. He like, he'll be here in 2 days. I want you to link up with him. Man, we went and played one-on-one at a park. I'll never forget it. I'm like, we get to playing. He could go. I'm like, oh, yeah. These people got hell to pay now. So I was geeked. So I was happy he came. So he was really the only real basketball player, you know, that I played with. Bert Shaw transferred in from Vincent. He transferred in like maybe my senior year, so he could play ball. He was a basketball player. But outside of that, it was just some guys who, you know what I mean, just some guys who was athletes but weren't real basketball players.
Yeah. And you and Ernie, not Ernie, what's his name? What's his son's name?
Dan. Yeah.
You and Dan held it down because I feel like NICOLET always been a good program, you know what I'm saying? So you definitely held it down. Who was some of the non-conference games that y'all played? Like, who was the toughest non-conference game you played being while at NICOLET?
It had to be Vincent. So we played Vincent every year. Every year we played him in the season, you know. So my sophomore year, we played at Madison. They started Marshall, James, Terry, Rob Yanders, and maybe George Iso. I don't know who else started that year. I don't know if George started that my sophomore year. I forget who else they started. They was loaded. So that year we played them. Then my junior year we played Qmont. It was Qmont team and Deontay and Greg and Boo and all them. Oh, and then my senior year, I mean, they was loaded every year. You know what I mean? Every year they had 5 or 6 guys like me, 5 or 6 Division I athletes. So by far that the Vincent teams were always super loaded and always a lot of fun to play. Like I said, it was all my peers. I played AAU with most of the guys. So again, it was until Grunfeld came, it was really 1-on-5. I'll never forget we played at Madison. We played Vincent last game of the year at Madison. And before the game, one of my teammates came in. He like, JT, is it any way we beat these guys? I'm like, not with that attitude. We can't. No. So it was loaded, man. So it was always a fun game, but obviously, you know, tough to play a juggernaut. And like I say, during them times, like I say, the Vincent teams had 6, 7 Division I guys, you know, every year in and year out. And you was part of it, you know, later in your career, you know, when you came in. But yeah, they was always super loaded.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. Yeah. Now, what all accolades and awards did you make first team, like all state, all conference? Like,
I know I was, you know, for North Shore, I know I was always, you know, best player in the league, you know, first team. I think for my senior year, I think I was maybe second team all state. I wasn't first team all state, you know, all county and all that type of stuff. So I was recognized, but we had, like I said, we had a strong class. Deb was player of the year. You know, obviously Deb went on to play. Travis Diener was, you know, right there. So obviously he went on to play at Marquette. But my senior year, or my class in general, was just loaded, man. We had probably 25 Division I athletes just out my class. You know, so we was super loaded, for sure.
Yeah, y'all was loaded. I didn't know Trav Diener was your year.
Yeah, so we had Trav and Drake, Qmont. We had a kid named Andy Grunts went to Marquette. He was from Marquette. I think he went to Marquette. He was big then. He was real big. We had all type of guys. If I named them off, we had 25 Division I athletes. Okay. You know, scholarship guys.
Mm-hmm. And did you have a chance? I know senior year you said you lost to Vincent, but any years did you ever like have a chance to go upstate? Like,
nope, Vincent, they ended my career every year. Every year we ran into them, and you know that's how sectionals, however, is set up. And like I said, man, the game went up. Like, I'm highly competitive, and a lot of guys who play basketball are super competitive. So whoever put this, Jay Rice sent me the footage the other day of the game my senior year. And the game, it's the only game I ever cried after in my whole life. You know what I mean? It's one of them games where, you know, these are my people. We gonna talk about this for years and years. These was all my AAU teammates. So we got the game in hand. I get stripped at half and foul out right after that. We don't get the ball over half. So the game we was up 3 with like 70 seconds to go. I'm bringing the ball up. I get stripped. I grab G Brown, foul out the game. We won't get the ball over half. That's it. That's the end of my high school career. So I was sick after that game. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I went to school with, you know, a lot of people that went to Vincent. So all my people in the stands. So even getting the footage like this, we talking about this 20 years, 24 years later, I'm watching the game. I'm still kind of angry. You know what I mean? Like I'm still competitive about it. So, you know, when you competitive that way and you love the game, man, that don't never stop. You know, them feelings don't ever quit even, you know, long time afterwards. So
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm already knowing, especially if y'all was up 3, JT. It was like,
Oh yeah,
it was
the game
right
was in our
there.
hand, and we wasn't supposed to beat them. Now, like I said, they was stacked, they was loaded in. We just played well. It was one of them great games at Vincent too. You know what I mean? That was one of the things this conversation would have been going different. But every time something like that happened, it's it's just something to build on, build on.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So you fall short your senior year to Vincent.
Yep.
And what all schools were offering you? Because I know you signed with Bradley, but I want to know what all schools were offering you though.
So when I came out, like I said, man, I signed, and again, this something for the younger kids, and I don't know how everything worked now, but I signed before my senior year of high school. So my junior year of high school, I had like 10 scholarship offers, all the mid majors, everybody in Missouri Valley. So Missouri Valley was like probably like the 7th or 8th best conference in the nation at that time. So it was Creighton, it was Northern Iowa, it was Southern Illinois, it was Bradley, it was not Northern Illinois, it was what's the other school in Illinois State, so all the schools in the MAC, all the schools, UWM conference, it was probably like the 7th, 8th best conferences. So I signed before my junior year, but before my junior year, I had Gene Katie come to the crib. So he was the coach at Purdue. So Gene Katie, and it's another one of them stories, like Gene Katie came to the crib, and I think they was in town for a tournament. They came to the crib, met moms, met my pops, and they told him straight up, we gonna offer your son a scholarship. We trying to get a kid from home. They play the same position. They're like, if we can't get this kid, we gonna offer him a scholarship. I signed with Bradley the next day. I'm out of here. Oh, y'all want me? Okay, I'm gone. You know what I mean? So if I'd have waited, I probably would have went somewhere bigger. But like I say, I was my first generation scholarship athlete. They was talking about paying for 4 years of college. I had to get that bag. I had to turn up. I had to get that. I said, like in that situation, because like I said, they had a guidance, but you just don't know. I got 10 scholarship offers on the table, and they saying they gonna pay for my school, and I could either wait and gamble and hope everything go good my senior year and I don't get hurt, or I could take the scholarship. I'm like, get the money, take the money. I'm out of here, man. I'm about to get locked in. You know what I mean? I'm getting locked in, get it. And not even something like, not even, getting my education paid for. And again, like then, and obviously looking back now, it's like, man, people have all these student loans and all type of stuff's different. So I had to lock it in. I went for what I knew. And I did that. And it's like, you look back, what if, what could you have done? I'm good with how it turned out. I ain't tripping at all.
Yeah. Now, when you made that final decision, how supportive were your parents? Were they looking more at it so like his schooling paid for, do it, son? Or was it more so, son, this is a good school?
Yeah.
I mean, or are you looking at it more like?
So, like my parents let me make that decision on my own, which was cool. Like, they gave me my foundation. I'm going to be a man. I'm a young man at this point. So, it was more about, I was picking school. Obviously, most of the schools was good education wise. You know what I mean? Most schools you go to, you're going to get a pretty good education. So they wasn't worried about that. It was more on the basketball end. They told me at Bradley, I was going to start off the rips. I was going to start. And man, I was like any other kid, man. I was going through it with my parents and all type of stuff. So we had 2-bedroom apartments. So they told me I was going to start, and we had 2-bedroom apartments. I had my own crib. I'm like, I'm going, sign me up. I'm ready. I'm starting. I got my own crib. I'm 17 years old. Sign me up. I'm out of here. So that's really, that's really how I made my decision. They said I'll start. They said I had my own crib. I was good. That was all I needed. I'm grown now. I was ready to get up out the crib. I was ready to get from up under the umbrella for sure.
Yeah. So you go to Bradley. Now, did they hold their end of the bargain? Did you have that 2-bedroom apartment? Did you start? Like,
no, all word was bond, everything they said. So what happened is, and again, this is when you get into the politics of college. So when I got there, we had, I came with a good freshman class, man. Danny Granger played in the league for 10, 12 years. He was in my freshman class. So when I got there, we got to Bradley. They had 3 guards. They had a 3-guard lineup. And, I'm still cool with these guys. They had a 3-guard lineup. The coach just loved these dudes. He just loved them. He just trusted them. So I started plenty games, but at the end of the game, he wouldn't play me. Now, mind you, I looked at the film my freshman year. I wasn't very good. It's just the bottom line. Like college basketball wise, I could play basketball, but what people are going to realize and now every year it's like every year it get better and better. Like I didn't know none of the jargon. I didn't know all of that. Just all the stuff that go into college basketball. College basketball has little to do with playing basketball. You know what I mean? It's about everybody in college can play basketball. It's about terminology. It's about spacing. It's about plays. It's about all of that. And if, you know, when you get to school, that's about making an adjustment. So Bradley, when I went to Bradley, we had 10,000 season ticket holders. So Bradley basketball, Bradley in Peoria, Illinois. It's nothing in Peoria, Illinois, but Bradley basketball. That's it. If you go to Peoria right now, they had Caterpillar, which was a big company, and they had Bradley basketball. My freshman year, we won 9 or 10 games. We had 10,000 fans at every game. 10,000 every game. It didn't matter. Yeah. They love it. Bradley basketball. Bradley don't have football. They don't have no other sports. It's just Bradley basketball or die. That's it. So, you know, it was dope that way. So I started, but he just didn't trust me in the games. So my coach, we had a coach that was there. He got fired. He was crazy. He was, you know what I mean? Like, keeping it real, he was crazy. You know, he was going through some personal stuff off the court, which I think made his job, you know, very tough. We didn't have a great roster. We ain't had no bigs. We had no bigs. You can't play college basketball with no bigs. You know what I mean? We had one big, couple bigs. One of them was hurt. One of them really wasn't, you know, trying to play ball. So you can't play, you know, when I was in Missouri Valley, Kyle Korver was there. Larry House and Kyle Korver was at Creighton.
At Creighton.
And actually, what's the coach's name that's there now?
Is it McDermott?
Ben Walker. Ben Walker is now the coach of UWM. I think he had graduated the year before I got there. But the Missouri Valley was great when I got there. It was real good. But like I said, Kyle Korver and them ran the conference, but you can't play with no big. So we weren't very good. Like I say, Granger played with me. He was in my freshman class. He was a beast freshman year. But, you know, your first year in the college, and everybody know that, you know, who went to college, your first year is going to be challenging. It's going to be a lot getting thrown at you. A lot of terms, a lot of bodies, a lot of practice and all type of stuff that you got to make the adjustment to. So it was interesting. I averaged probably like 6 and 5 my freshman year. So nothing crazy, but I played probably 25, 30 minutes a game. So that experience was priceless. Yeah, that experience was priceless.
Most definitely. As a freshman playing that much time?
Yeah. No, I got some burn. He ain't live. We had 2-bedroom apartments. Apartment was lit. We was live. And now I probably started my freshman year. I probably started like 15, 20 games.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty dope.
They stood on it.
Yeah, so all right. So when you was at NICOLET, remember how you said you went to NICOLET and you caught that little culture shock?
Yeah.
When you went to college, with the classes being bigger, just people from all over the place now. Yeah. How did you operate then? Was it still a culture shock? I'm
gonna tell you a crazy story. So my brother and my sister went to HBCU. They went to Grambling. So my brother 6 years older than me, my sister 4 years older than me. So I went down to school to take them down to school. Now again, everything like with the internet, everything different now. Like I didn't know what an HBCU was at the time. You know what I mean? So we took bro to school. Man, I think we dropped him off on the yard. Like I'm talking about, it's niggas everywhere. You know, it's us everywhere. You feel me? So in my mind, like that's what college was gonna be for me. That's where bro went. That's the only idea I got of college. Like my generation, the first people in my family who really went to college. So bro go to Grambling, they go to HBCU. Boom, I get there. We everywhere. I'm like, okay, I'm coming from Wisconsin. I'm like, okay, this college. So boom, bro go to school. Then 2 years later, we take my sister. My sister go to the same school. She go to Grambling. Boom, she had an HBCU was going down. I get there. I'm like, okay, I can't wait to get to school. So now I get scholarships. I go to a PWI. Now, I still don't know it's going to be no different. So Bradley has 6,000 people there. I get to school. I'm looking around like, man, what's really good? This a joke? Like, where my people at? I'm from Wisconsin. I'm ready for my people. So, man, not so much culture shock because I went to NICOLET, and this is where that early culture shock at NICOLET prepared me for school, which was good. So I really ain't had a culture shock at Bradley outside of the fact that I thought in my mind, I was going to HBCU. That's what I thought I was, that's what I thought I was going to. And I didn't understand, college basketball and how all that worked. I didn't understand the difference in that. I just knew I was going down south. And I was going to be in the minority again, in the majority again. And it was going down like when I was at Burroughs. So, it fooled me. It got me. It was a sick joke. It was a sick joke for sure.
Yeah. That's funny, JT.
Yeah. It was a fool too. It was because I never forget. I'm sitting in my room. I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work. Like this ain't what they promised me. I thought it was, you know what I mean? I remember calling my brother. I'm like, man, I'm at school and it's like, man, I don't see us nowhere. Only time I see us is at the gym. He like, oh no, you don't go to HBCU. I'm like, what's HBCU? He like, HBCU is a historically Black college. Like we go to a college specifically for us. I'm like, man, y'all ain't tell me none of that. I ain't know none of that at all. None of that. Zero information about that. So that's one of the things where you kind of live and you learn, but it's like, you know, people need to know that. And I'm sure people know more about HBCUs now, but it's like, you know, you got to understand what you're going to school. You go to school typically on a full ride scholarship, you're going to be the minority and you're going to be, you know, it's going to be 5% of your culture on campus, 6% of your culture on campus. And depending on where you go to school and what city you go to school in, like it could be, you know, it could be tough. It could be interesting.
Yeah, man. Very, very, very tough. You know, I went to school in Minnesota and man, I had a culture shock. You know, sure. I went to Vincent. So, you know, it was all my kind.
Yeah.
In college, it was tough for me, man. I had to adjust though. So
yeah, I'm glad I learned that lesson, you know, earlier than later. I think it would have been tougher if I'd have got to college. I probably would have been like, man, I'm going to the crib. I'm out of here. So, and I know that happened often. So, you know, I get how that happened. That's a lot to deal with.
Yeah. So, dude, so JT, you go to Bradley as a freshman. You average what 6, 5, 6 and 5. That's pretty good to me, man.
No, that's valid. That's valid for a freshman. Like I said, the conference was good. It wasn't no slouch conference. I think it was 7th or 8th best conference in the nation. So it was good. It was high level basketball getting played at that time.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you stay there after your freshman year? Is that when you transferred to UW?
Yeah, so I transferred after freshman year, and this is something again for the younger generation that come in. Like when I talk to the kids, I ask the kids, you know how many credits it takes to graduate college, and people don't have a clue. Like I'm in this at this point. Like I'm all good on reliving the basketball side of it. Basketball was good to me, man. I still love the game basketball. I wouldn't be here without it, you know. So I'm all in on that. But it's like, you know, you gotta. People told me along the way, like you can't let it use you. You gotta use the game. Don't let basketball use you. Meaning, you know, you can't just let it suck you dry. You know what I mean? You gotta get.
I know
you gotta get something out of basketball, because a lot of times people play basketball and their career be over and they looking around like, okay, what do I do now? So they just say, like, during the time you playing basketball, you got to pick up some game. You got to meet some people. You got to network. It's a whole other side to basketball. So I always ask the kids, you know, you want to be a professional player. You know, a lot of us want to be professional, whatever, football, basketball, whatever it may be. And I ask them, you know, how many credits does it take to graduate? Because when you go into school, like that's a big part of it. If you're not a one and done guy, which is not many people out there that's one and done, man, you want to get a degree when you go to school. That's what you're going to school for. You're going to school to get a degree first, and then you're going to play sports. And if you could do both of them things, then you're going to win. That's a good look. But it's important to get that paper. You know, it's important to get that paper if you can, for sure. That's a big part of it. So 120 credits to graduate. So when I went to Bradley, 2001, I went to Bradley. And like I said, man, it was, you know, I was just a rebellious kid. I was 18. I knew everything. And moms told me, you know, I got kicked out the crib my senior year. Moms told me, look here, if you can't follow the rules, moms and pops, if you can't follow the rules, you got to get out. So I had to get out. Couldn't follow the rules, man. You know, my parents from down south, they from Mississippi. So they were strict. They was militant. So I got kicked out like January my senior year. But what my parents didn't know is they knew I had signed a scholarship, but I was going to school in June. So I just had to make it till June. So mom's come to the crib one day. I'm like, I'm gone. She like, nah, where you going? I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. It's a wrap. I'm not ever coming back to the crib. It's gone. I got a crib. Soon June come, I got a crib. So I went to Bradley in June. So after I graduated high school, I graduated high school, I broke my foot. I got kicked out the crib in January. And this how the world works. This life for you. And like I said, really, this is a lesson for the generations after me, the young kids now. I knew everything. I told moms I got this. I get kicked out the crib. And after my senior year, we playing at St. Charles over by Mayfair. It was a good run that day. I forget, Latrell Fleming was in our class. He was a full ride to Wisconsin. He had a heart condition. Latrell Fleming was cold. He was in our class. So we playing this me, Trail, Dev, all the guys. We having a hell of a run. I break my foot my senior year. So this like April. I break my foot and I'm living on my own. I ain't with my parents. And I had just told moms, man, I'm grown. I got this. I'm good. I don't need y'all no more. I done made it. I'm straight. So I break my foot. And man, I walk on a broken foot for probably like a week. I had to break down and call my pops. I'm like, Pops, like, man, I know I just come from telling y'all I was good and I ain't need nothing, but I'm gonna need that medical card. I'm gonna need that insurance card because I got a serious problem. So I end up, talking to my parents and going to the hospital. I broke my foot. So this like my first real adversity in life. So like this year, and this is crazy. So the Bucks go to the playoffs this year. This one, Ray Allen, Big Dog, Sam Cassell, this 2001. And this, this a time the Bucks ain't really been good. So I'm living with one of my homeboys. Me and one of my homeboys got a little crib, got a little spot. And I really, I can't even say where I was at. We had a little spot, I don't want to put nobody in a spot. I had a little spot. So, man, they was in the playoffs and I was incapacitated. I couldn't work out. Man, my senior year, we was getting an 18-pack of long necks. At NICOLET, they partied, they hung out, So, but a Bucks game, we was getting 18 packs of long necks, beers, Miller High Lifes, and we watching the game. So we kicking and we partying. Man, I put on 20 pounds. 20 pounds just got fat. I couldn't move. I broke my foot. I put on 20 pounds. So when I got to Bradley my freshman year, I was 20 pounds overweight off the rips. We got big bodies. There ain't nobody tell me that because I was hurt. And this is, again, something for the kids. Because I was hurt, I had high metabolism. I was working out. I was playing. So I was sitting around. I wasn't moving. And every Bucks game, I was having probably 6, 7 beers. I'm on my own. I'm kicking and I think I'm grown. Mm-hmm. So when I got to school, I was 20 pounds overweight. My coach like, man, what the hell happened to you? Like, no BS. I look in the mirror one day. I'm living with my homeboy. I look in the mirror. I'm like, bro, why you ain't tell me I got fat? He like, bro, we've been together every day. Like I ain't know either. So when I got to school, it was straight. It was when I got to Bradley freshman year, it was grind mode. I had to get on the grind. Like I had to get the weight off. So really that was kind of my first adversity. But again, like I say, that's really what make you, when you be down, that's when you really see what you made of. So that was, that's a crazy story.
Yeah, man, that is crazy. But man, that beer can creep up on you. And it probably crept up on you like that too, JT, just on the strength because you broke your foot and then you really wasn't about to be moving like that, dog.
No, if I wouldn't have broke my foot, I'd have been straight because I'd have been working out. But I got a big frame. Even today, if I'm not working out and I'm just kicking and hanging out and eating, no, I could put on weight like no problem. I could be 280, 290 in a couple of days, easy. So I got a frame, and it's been a gift and a curse. I always had a big frame where I could do what I wanted on the court, but it's also a frame that could easily add pounds. So, when you got them frames, when you not know, frail guy, if you got a good frame on you coming up, just know, okay, keep playing. You better watch that diet. And if you get hurt, you better adjust that diet and understand, the changes you need to make, to your body and to your diet, or you will pack on pounds, and they're not easy to get off. Obviously, when you that age, they're a lot easier to get off, but it was still a grind though.
It's the grind. Yeah, I'm already doing it. Yeah. So JT, what made you choose UW1? What made you come back home?
Man, so when I left, I remember I was at Bradley and UW wasn't good yet. So I remember they played Cincinnati and I could still see it. They played Cincinnati and it was like ESPN had the matchup. They had Cincinnati. This was Kenyon Martin and all them guys. They had Cincinnati versus UWM. And for UWM, they ain't had no Panther on there. They had a cupcake. We was cupcakes of the week. And I just remember looking, I'm like, man, you know what? Like, man, I'm trying to do something different at UWM, man. Like Pearl had came to UWM. So Bo Ryan was at UWM. When I left, they recruited me and I didn't want to go to UWM. We played high school there, It was right around the corner from the crib. Like for all the same reasons I left the city was all the reasons I came back. Like I ain't want to be close to home. I wanted to try something new. For all them reasons, I'm like, I'm going back to the crib. And I felt like when I transferred, I had some opportunity, and really, so I got some more game for you. So it's like when you going into the college situation, you don't know none of the rules, and you can't play no game you don't know the rules of. So when I was transferring, I really transferred. My coach was crazy. He got fired after my freshman year, but I was leaving before that anyways. He was wild. He did all type of craziness, and really, even though he was crazy, you still got to take something from everybody. He taught me something about like he once I left him, I knew I couldn't be broken. Like my spirit couldn't be broken. He was trying to break people, you know what I mean? He was trying to weed people out, and because he was going through some stuff, I feel like he tried to put that on his team, you know what I mean? So when I left Bradley, I knew mentally I couldn't be broken, you know? So when I left, I told the coach who recruited me was assistant coach. His name was Al Biancalana. He recruited me. He was smooth. And I told him, I'm like, bro, I'm transferring. I'm out of here. He like, you know what is it? I'm like, man, you seen the year, man. Dude was crazy. It was wild. Like we couldn't have like, at the time my hair was braided then. We couldn't, it's like 4 or 5 guys on the team with braids. Couldn't nobody have braids. We couldn't have cell phones around the team. We stayed in a hotel at the crib. Like on home games, we stayed in a hotel. So it was just plenty of rules. Like I ain't go to school to be in no military. So I tell coach, I'm like, I'm leaving. He like, well, do you know where you going? I'm like, nah, I don't know where I'm going yet. I just know I'm out of here. Like, it's a wrap here. I'm gone. He like, so, you've been playing or what? I'm like, and I'm at the crib. I play at UWM. He like, oh, what? You play UWM? I'm like, yeah, I'm playing this at the crib. I'm playing with the guys so I can stay in shape. I'm trying to get right. He like, that's an NCAA violation. I'm like, what you talking about? He like, that's an NCAA violation. They tampering with you. So what happened was, and again, I don't know how these rules are now, but Bradley wouldn't release me on my scholarship. So when I left Bradley, I was going to go to Wisconsin. I was out of there. I everything, I put everything together. I was going to Wisconsin. I was locked in. So if you on a full-ride scholarship, and I feel like full-ride scholarships used to be 4 years. Now I think they one renewable. So like you can get a scholarship. It's not guaranteed for 4 years, I believe. Now I'm not positive about that, but so when I was at Bradley, they wouldn't let me on my scholarship. That means nobody else could give me a scholarship for the next year, which was really cold for, that really could have changed my whole you dig, you know what I mean? So I couldn't get a scholarship. So really, like in that situation, I could have just, that could have caused me to drop out of school and been done with basketball. You know what I mean? Like I can't get no scholarship. So what I'm supposed to do now? I'm going to Wisconsin. So now I'm straight. I'm going to Wisconsin. I'm plugged in up there, and I can't get a scholarship. So I can't pay for Wisconsin. So I can't go there. So I ended up going to UWM, and I had to pay out my pocket. Now, mind you, it was some finessing going on. You know what I mean? It was some things that happened that helped me. But I took out a loan for 6 G's. And school was probably like, 7 or it's probably 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I got some help. But, I had to take out a loan to go to school. So they told me they didn't have, I couldn't get a scholarship at UWM my sophomore year, the year I redshirted. So, and this one I linked up with a guy named Clay Tucker. Clay Tucker is a lead scorer in UWM history. He from Ohio. And really, I had just knew them from around the way from playing ball. And the first time I really met him, he like, bro, you could stay with me off the rips. I ain't even know him like that. He just told me, I ain't had no crib. I'm paying for my own school and myself. He like, you can stay with me. I stayed with him all year long. I stayed with him, in the dorms, and, just moved around in the dorms a little bit, but he gave me a spot to stay. So, I'm out there bad, but that's how it happened though. So I paid for school. Pearl was a coach of UWM, and Pearl had it going, he had it, Bo Ryan and them got UWM kind of cooking a little bit. And then when Pearl came in, he was letting them guys play. He was letting them guys go and letting them guys show their talent and showcase their talent. And then really when I met Pearl, everything just kind of changed. Like Pearl is a hell of a coach. He know his X's and O's. He know his basketball. He a basketball savant. Like Pearl was amazing for my career, because he was a guy who understood not only just basketball and the X's and O's, but the things you're going through as a young man and you growing and kind of everything. So Pearl is a genius. I'm glad I met him. Definitely changed the course of my career.
Yeah. Pearl is dope. I met him one time, a long time ago, but I do love him as a coach.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
To
He a player.
know
He a
that
player
you
for sure.
paid for school though, like wow,
Yeah,
JT, I would have never thought. I would have never thought that.
no, that's part of the grind, man. So like I got my first check, I had a loan, and obviously they doing all this loan forgiveness and all that. So I paid, 6 or 7 G's. I had a little loan. So my first check, I paid that off. I'm like, I done cop me some paper. I'm gonna pay that little bread off. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But again, if I didn't have, some resources and some people around me, man, I probably would have I might have been done with school. And that's all on the strength of really, college is kind of playing games with people, because he said they tamper with me. Man, I'm at the crib, man. I'm playing at UW. It's 10 minutes from my crib. Like, I guess when you're on scholarship, I don't know if they expect you not to play. Like, that don't make sense. So, and again, because I didn't know the rules of how things worked, man, that could have killed my career. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But again, for the people behind me, you got to know what you're dealing with. You got to know them rules when you sign in papers. You got to understand, how all that worked.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
So how was going into your red shirt year? How was you and Pearl relationship?
Man, Pearl, like, I found, and again, you got to be careful these days. It's a lot of, the political world is crazy, but Pearl, like, he like a minority. You know what I mean? I found out that.
Yeah.
I guess that's the cleanest way I can say it. He like a minority. He like, he got some of us in him. So Pearl was a player, man. Like I said, not only was he a really good coach, but he's somebody who he with the stuff. He understand what's going on, the whole big picture. And he was real easy to talk to, real easy to understand. And he is a guy who he's serious about the game. He's not gonna BS about the game, but at the same time, like, he just know how to put it all together. So he had the program kind of rocking and rolling and going in the right order. And I remember he told me, like, and again, this something else for the young boys. Like, he told me my red shirt year, he like, JT, don't sit around and like, take this year for granted. He like, you supposed to be watching the game and really seeing where you fit in at, what you gonna do next year. And he like, take this time to get better. Take this time to get better, work on your game. You got a full year to sit out. You're gonna be practicing with these guys. These guys, and the guys was talented. Like I say, Clay Tucker leading scorer in school history, Ronnie Jones. It was some guys that could play. And I didn't think the guys at UW could play. Them guys could play, and they was college guys, 4 and 5 year, seniors. So they was good at the time. Jason Frederick went to Waukesha West, or one of them schools in Waukesha. He was tough. They had some good players. And my red shirt year was the first year UWM ever went to the tournament. So that team was good, man. So I got to watch them guys and kind of see how they operated and how they went about their business. And Clay kind of took me under his arm, and it was up from there.
Yeah. And that first year that they went to the NCAA tournament, how far did they go? Well, who was all on that team, JT?
So Clay Tucker he wasn't player of the year, but so actually the dude who got player of the year is what's the coach for the Pelicans? He went to Detroit.
I know you're talking about. Wow, it bothers me.
His name will come to me, but either way, he the coach of the Pelicans right now. So he was a dog. He was at Detroit, so he was player of the year. But the team was Clay Tucker, Ronnie Jones, Jason Frederick, Dylan Page, some couple guys from out of town, Rob Sanders, Nate Milky. But they had a real good team, though. Real talented team. And actually, Jose had transferred back from Colorado, and he played for UW too. So senior year, they was good, man. They was tough. So they played first time UWM started to be Division I in like the 90s, like early 90s. So they had never been to the NCAA tournament. So they went and they played Notre Dame. And they played at Lucas Oil Arena where the Colts play at. Man, I'm talking about the game was rocking, boy. The game was rocking. It's like 25, like this the tournament. Now, another crazy story, like, so when I went to Bradley, like I said, I'm first generation college basketball. This, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't come up around basketball, watching college basketball, NCAA tournament. So at the end of my freshman year, we going to play in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. And they like, we going to play in the conference tournament. If we win this, we go to the tourney. I'm like, what's the tourney?
Yeah.
Like, if we win our conference tournament, we go to the NCAA tournament. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So my freshman year, I ain't know nothing about the big dance. It wasn't part of my life. Like, I didn't grow up watching March Madness with my daddy. Like, it just wasn't part of my world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So even my freshman year, I just didn't know it. And it's important to you got to know what's going on. I didn't even know what I was playing for. Like, I ain't know nothing about at-large bids. I ain't know nothing about you win your conference. If you go to a mid-major, you got to win your conference tournament to even get to the tournament. I ain't know none of that. So UWM went to the tournament. They played Notre Dame. They lost at the buzzer, man. Kid missed the layup. Guy missed the layup. No time on the clock. And they lost. And they really, he made the layup. They win the game. And they got the history we got. But they, like I say, same thing. They kind of opened that door. They went to the tournament first time in school history. And like I said, after that, it's a wrap. Like when my red shirt year, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go crazy when I play. My first game at UWM, I had a dub. We played Montana. We played Montana at the US Cellular Arena, which is now the Panther Arena. And I think
what year was JP?
So this was I transferred back and I had to sit out. So this really would have been my junior year. So this was 03. So 03. So I think Kamar was at Kamar Davis went to Washington. I think he was at Montana then. So we played Montana the first game. And it's crazy because now I'm a red shirt sophomore. Now my game tight. You know what I mean? Like I understand college basketball, and that's really the big adjustment. Like I could play basketball when I went freshman year. It was things moving too fast. Like if you don't know the terms, you can't play because coach yelling at you, talking about help side, weak side, left, you know what I mean? Straight, all these terms. So you can't really get off because, you know what I mean? It's like you trying to process so much information. So when I played at UW, we had a kid named Dylan Page. Dylan Page, he was player of the year. Dylan Page was cold. There was nobody that could do nothing with Dylan Page. And I think Dylan Page was just probably a late bloomer because he was from Wisconsin. I don't think he was that good early on. But junior year, senior year, it wasn't nobody in the nation could do nothing with Dylan Page. Ambidextrous, left hand, right hand dunks. He shot the tray. He dunked people. I'm talking about he was the real deal. So he was player of the year. And then we had a kid that came named Ed McCants. Ed McCants was incredible. Ed McCants had a torch, like I'm talking about a heater. He came from Northwestern. So he was cold. So I was a third option. And I just remember, like, my dude, I know he couldn't guard me. And, like, I wasn't getting no double team, no nothing the whole game. I'm going crazy. I'm scoring. And I'm not getting no more, like, nobody paying no attention to me. I'm like, oh, a third option. I'm going to be a dog because they must not even have me on the scouting report. I'm going to go crazy. So, my sophomore year, and it's crazy how every year things change. So my sophomore year, I was third option. So things was kind of easy for me coming from that position on a good day. So that was my sophomore year. That was my first year in. And I jumped right in. I jumped off the porch ASAP.
Jumped off the porch. Man, yeah. Dude. And at that time, I can't really remember, but at that time, how tough was the Horizon League at the time?
So the Horizon League, I'm gonna be honest, the Horizon League trashy right now. You know what I mean? And I hope it get back to the time, but to compare to when we played, Butler was in the Horizon League, we played, Loyola was in the Horizon League, we played. So all them teams that went on to the Big East and all type of conferences. So Butler was real tough. Detroit was tough. The Horizon League was real good. So when I went to Bradley, they was the 8th best conference. And I think when I transferred back to UWM, Horizon League was probably like 7 or 8. So right there in that, right there in that category. So we was tough. We was tough during that time.
Mm-hmm. And man, we gotta get right. We gotta get into it, man, because I talked to Jay Wright, and this is about a few months ago, because y'all NCAA tournament is when y'all play against Illinois, that run. It's on YouTube, and I watched it, and I felt like y'all had that, JT. I mean, talk to me about it. What you think? Because I have a name in my head who I think it's because of, but I'm such a team player. I don't want to be like that. But y'all had it, man. I think you would have missed 5 shots.
Man, and we talking about
3 free throws or something like that.
And this, we talking about like, it'd be a lot of, during these games, and when you can look, from behind the scenes and all that, it'd be a lot of stuff going on. It'd be a lot of extra stuff going on out off the court, on the court. So, we had a big dude named Derek Ford. Derek Ford was a 7-footer, maybe 6'11", 7 feet. Derek Ford was a guy who he was a game changer. You know what I mean? Like he was 6'11". He blocking shots, he dunking the ball, and 6'4" was a monster. Now, Ford wasn't a guy who was going to remember no super complicated plays and nothing like that. But on a good day, Ford was going to be a problem for somebody. So, and again, man, you know, after all this time, it'd be so many stories. So I never watched the Illinois game for maybe I don't know, 5 or 6 years after the game happened. I don't know. I ain't never had no footage. I never watched it. I was playing pro. It just, you know, I never had the tape. So before the game, Big Ford, our 6'11" kid, you know, he was like our 7th or 8th man, but he came off the bench, he blocked shots. He did a lot for our team, and maybe not a lot of stuff that ended up on the stat sheet. But if you bring a 6'11" athletic off the bench at UWM, you know, he was a big part of what we did. So, man, so Ford, boy, rolled his ankle before the game in warmups, rolled both of his ankles.
Oh,
man, and no BS. He rolled both his ankles. He rolled both his ankles in warmups. So
hold on, JT. We both been playing basketball for a long time.
Yeah.
I never rolled both ankles though.
Nah, and I got to give you this story. So in the warmups, he rolled both his ankles. So mind you, I never seen it. I never saw how it happened, right? So when I turn the game on, when I get the clip, I get the game on tape. The first thing I see is him rolling his ankles. I'm talking about he must be running to do a layup, and one ankle roll, and he try to go to the other ankle and save himself. Both of them roll. He rolled both his ankles, so he out for the game. So this like our 7th or 8th man. Now, you know, the thing about playing a team like Illinois or playing high major, 1 through 5 you can match up. You know what I mean? Or maybe 1 through 4 you can match up. 4 of your guys, you know, 4 of our guys could have played high major. 4 or 5 of our guys could have played high major. And really, our UW team, really everybody down there was a transfer from high major. We had a kid named Jason McCoy. He's 6'10". He went to Rutgers. Ed McCants went to Northwestern. Jay Wright transferred back from Oklahoma State. So we had plenty of high major guys. We had the team I played with on UW, we was serious. Adrian Tiger was from Appleton. He was cold. He was cold in the state. He was good. He went to UWM right away. Chris Hill was from Chicago. He went to Whitney Young, Astoria High School in Chicago. Boo Davis, he came from junior college. And I don't know why. I know junior, he was real high in the rankings for junior college. I don't know why Boo didn't go somewhere higher out of junior college, but I'm glad he came to us. Boo Davis was amazing. So we had a cold team. We was real good. But again, when you go up against them high major schools, it's like you can't match up. You can't handle injury. So our 7th, 8th guy went down, and that really hurt us because he was a shot blocker for us. He'd have helped us, you know what I mean? So you can't handle injuries right before the game and think you can compete. So we played well, man, but it's like, man, them games, it's like, man, guys got a lot on the line. And when you playing at the mid-major level, for some people, that's your only shot to be seen. You know what I mean? So now you go into this game, and guys got aspirations of being pros, and guys got aspirations. So now it's all on the line in one game. And what happened is, man, you know, that pressure build up, you know what I mean? And you trying to go to the NBA off 2 shots. And I think that's just what happened. I got love for everybody I played with. And when I go back and watch them games, like I say, it was a lot of stuff going on, man. I had some of the homeboys tell me some stories years later about things they was doing before the game, and you know, it'd be a lot of moving parts. So the game was amazing. You know what I mean? It's like we played in front of about 25,000. Obviously, I was able to get off and have a great game, and it actually catapulted me to some places in my life where if it wasn't for the Illinois game, like, you know what I mean, I'm not in the position I am. You know what I mean? That allowed me to do some things and really go and see some places, you know, that I may not have been able to without that game. So that game was amazing, man. It'd have been nice if we could have won it, but it's really like I said, Arizona was the team we'd have played next, and we didn't have enough firepower. It'd have been, you know, we'd have made the Elite 8, and then we'd have cost some work. So, you know, it is what it is, man. We went Sweet 16, man, and obviously we were able to put UWM on the map, put Milwaukee on the map. And I still, to this day, 20 years later, I still have conversations about, you know, about the Sweet 16 and that run and how magical it was and where people were. So the NCAA tournament, especially for mid-major guys, NCAA tournament, I was blessed to go 2 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My sophomore year, Dylan Page team, my sophomore year, we went to NIT. So we lost the championship game at the crib to UIC to go to the tournament. So we got a chance to taste, you know, some failure, you know what I mean, which was helpful. Like I said, again, some adversity that helped build, you know, and build that hunger. So we lost the championship game. We went to NIT. We played 2 games my sophomore year, and then junior and senior year, we went to the tournament. So from a mid-major level, like the NCAA tournament is, you ain't really played college basketball until you play in the tournament. So for me, I was able to play. I played 5 games in the tournament. I averaged like 25 for 5 games. So tournament time was, you know, tournament time, they allowed you to play a more physical brand of basketball. So, you know, when I played in Horizon League, man, I had guys falling at my feet and flopping, and, you know what I mean? I was the type of player, Q, like I was big. Like I played 3-4. So bigs couldn't stay in front of me and guards was too small. So I was just a matchup nightmare, you know what I mean? So during the tournament, man, they wasn't calling all that, you know what I mean? It's just knuckle up time. It's just get it how you live. So tournament time, it was go crazy for me, man. So that was a good, you know, that style of basketball was good for me. So I was tough in the tournament for sure.
Yeah, oh, JT, come on, man. First of all, what's better, great or amazing? Because whatever you play, great and amazing, bro. Like, I'm telling you, JT, this is how you know I really watched it.
Yeah.
I think you only missed about 5-6 shots.
Yeah.
And I think you missed about 4 free throws. And if you made them free throws, I think you would have had 40 something, but you wind up having like 36 or 37 or something.
Yeah. Right? It's like, you know, you look back at that, and like I said, I can still watch the game. I miss a free throw. Like, man, come on, bro. Like, you could have had a 40 piece, you know what I mean? So, you know, you gotta put that work in. And the crazy thing is, like, when you look back at it, like, we had a group of guys, like, I was a hard work guy. The reason I am where I am is like I was a grinder. Like, and even after basketball, the things that made me successful in my basketball career are the same reasons why I was good at basketball. Like, I'm a grinder. Like, you put me my back against the wall, like I know how to grind. And that's that Milwaukee thing. Like, we hard workers, you know, we blue collar guys, you know what I mean? So I had good styles, but I was a guy that wasn't afraid of no work. Like, I wasn't afraid to put no work in. So you know, during that time, like the reason UWM, like, we were good is like we had a bunch of guys who weren't ducking the grind. Like at UWM, we had, and I tell this story to a lot of people, we had a time where we had the Kalachi Center, and it's like we had Sunday workouts. They wasn't mandatory. Like, wasn't no coaches there, didn't no coaches arrange them. And we had 10 guys working out Sunday night, like 6 to 8 guys just in there going crazy. So I remember like probably like the 5th or 6th Sunday in a row, we had 9 or 10. We was having like darn near like having a practice, no coaches, guys just there wanting to work. I'm like, oh, we gonna be special. Like, we gonna be good, because even like my sophomore year, I thought I was darn good. You feel me? Like, I thought I was real good. And I knew the guys in front of me. We went to a European trip and it's crazy. We went to a European trip. We went to like, and it's crazy how it worked out, because we went to France, we went to Germany, we went to these places before my sophomore year. And my point guard, Chris Hill, who this is my man, I'm still super cool with him to this day. He went crazy in Europe. He was unbelievable. I'm like, if Ed playing, DP playing, and Chris playing like this, I'm like, oh, we going to the Final Four. This was really what I thought. I'm like, no, we tough. Like, dude, these guys good. I know how good I am. Like, we gonna go to the Final Four. So, you know, like I said, we worked hard. So we had a good team. So really, like, during that time, that tournament time, like, we just caught fire. And it's like, it was just a situation where like our hard work really just, all our hard work kind of came to fruition. And it wasn't like nothing we really like kind of thought about. It just happened. You know what I mean? Like, we was just grinding, and then we got put in a moment. Like, before the Illinois game, like, we had a good run in the tournament. We played Alabama. The first game we played Alabama. And, you know, they high major. They thought it was sweet. We smacked them boys. They thought it was sweet, and we ended up beating them. And then we played Boston College. And like these memories they'll never get old. They'll never go away. So we played Boston College. Boston College was number 1 that year. They was 20-0. So we played them, and we played them. They up like 11-0. We down, and the boy Jared Dudley, he played for the Bucks a couple years ago. He coaching now, so he played for Boston College. They had Chris Dudley, Craig Dudley, somebody. He went to the league. Craig Smith, big body.
Yeah, big dude. Yeah.
Probably 6 or 7 years. So we down 11-0, and we was really about that life. Like, we was deep and we could play. So I remember Jared Dudley telling me, he told me they up 11-0. He said, "Welcome to the Big East." You know what I mean? He got to popping. And after that, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? If he wouldn't have said nothing, I ran into him at Carson's one night. And he called me by my full name. He like, "Joah Tucker." I'm like, "What's happening?" He like, "Yeah, UWM. You played for UWM. Y'all beat us." I said, "Bro," so we sat down, we have a drink, we kind of kicking back. Now this probably 10 years later, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later. I'm like, "Bro, like, we really, if you wouldn't have said that, y'all to beat us. If you wouldn't have ran your mouth, y'all to beat us. You really just woke up a sleeping giant." Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's really what put us over the top. As soon as he said that, something just clicked. Like, you know, like I say, we from Milwaukee. Like, we don't go for that. So we just turned up after that. So we ended up beating them. And then we played Illinois, and really, like, you know, the tournament, like, man, it's like being in the league. Man, you getting flew around, you getting like the level of intensity is just ratcheted up. The crowd's big, it's crazy. I'm talking about you doing pressers before and after the game. Like, it's just crazy. We on USA Today, like, the city was going crazy. And this is what I'm gonna tell, like, for the generations that's after me, when they look at this, like, right now, I got to give a shout out to my alma mater, UWM. We got a guy named Bart Lundy there now. You know what I mean? Bart Lundy, one of them guys. Like, when I think about how Pearl knew the game, and I can't say he Pearl, but he know his stuff. He know his basketball. He a special coach. So the blueprint I gave the city was, man, I went to UW and went crazy. And that laid a path for me after basketball. You know what I mean? I done gave the blueprint to the city to what could be done when you come to UW. Like, the city went crazy for us. Yeah. The city went absolutely nuts when I was at UW, because we was good and we represented what Milwaukee is all about. Nigga, grinders, you know what I mean? Hard workers, blue collar people who good. We was tough. We was really good. Nationally, we was good. We wasn't a mid-major team. We just played in the Horizon League. So we represented for Milwaukee. Milwaukee was on our chest, and we played the game the right way, and we played an exciting style. And we sold the Panther Arena out. It was a wrap. Like, when we got to UWM, and again, I ain't know no history. We got to UWM, we played at the Kalachi Center. This is why I didn't want to go to UWM, and this lets you know some of the history. So the Kalachi Center, like I said, Clarendon was pretty good when we got there. They, you know, the Kalachi Center capacity is probably like 5,000 people. So when I get there, Clarendon good, they getting like 3,500 people in the arena. That's not what I aspired for college. I wanted to play in front of big crowds. So when I got there, my red shirt year, Pearl took me down to the US Cellular Arena. Now, mind you, that's the Mecca. That's where the Bucks won a championship at in 71. I ain't know none of this information. It almost should be like some education on basketball, especially where you go to college at. So I ain't know none of this. So he take me down to the US Cellular. He gave me the history of the building. He like Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won a championship here with the Bucks in this building in 71. Now, mind you, you know, 71, that don't mean nothing to me at 18, 19. Like, they won a chip. Okay, that's great. Now, I didn't know the Bucks only won one chip in franchise history. So now, since we done won a chip in the last couple of years, we hadn't won a chip in 50 years. Now, as an adult, I understand how significant that is. So we go down there. The capacity for the US Cellular Arena, which is now the Panther Arena, is 10,700. Pearl tell me, now I'm signed to UWM. It's not a recruiting trip. He tell me, he like, JT, he like, we gonna sell this place out. I'm like, man, dude spinning me like I'm one of his chicks or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm already signed. You ain't gotta sell me no dream. I'm in already. He like, man, we gonna sell this place out. So my junior year going to the tournament, the year we went to Sweet 16, it's the first round of the tournament or second round of the Horizon League tournament. And I come out, you know, we do warm-ups, we go back in, we come out, and they announce US Cellular Arena, sold out crowd, 10,700, some. And I never forget that moment in my life. I look around, I'm like, damn, boy was a visionary. Like, I ain't see that. I ain't see UWM selling out no crowd in Milwaukee, playing next to the Bradley Center, which was where the Bucks played at. Like, I ain't picture that in our future. I ain't know we was gonna be tough like that. So, you know, dude was a visionary. We sold that joint out, and that was a tournament year. So that whole year was just special, man. That was a real special year, and really that was just kind of the culmination. So, yeah, that Sweet 16 run was special, man. And them all, one of my homeboys, my guy from Houston, Jason McCoy, just turned 40 years old. I talked to him a couple of days ago, and it's like we built a brotherhood, man. Everybody I played with on that team, man, I'm still cool with everybody. We still talk. We still close. So that was, you know, that's something that we was in the trenches together. That's something that live on forever. Like when I was playing pro, I didn't know, like, I still talk to all my partners I played with. And when I was playing pro, I'm talking to my teammates, and they like, I don't talk to not one guy from my college team. And I really thought everybody was like tight knit like that. Like my college team, my whole team, we were super tight knit, super cool. Like did everything like super, like unheard of. Like we used to hang out at a little bar, and you know, you got people from every walk of life, white guys, black guys, rich, poor, ghetto, suburbs. Like we hung out at a spot. We had a whole team in the spot, the entire team. Like at the end of the night, everybody kind of did their thing. But by the end of the night, everybody was in one spot on our team. Like that's why we was good. We had unbelievable camaraderie, and we had an unbelievable brotherhood, which made us special. Like we would have been, like we had enough talent to be like pretty good, but the thing that put us over the top was our camaraderie and how we grinded for one another. You know what I mean? We had a real team.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, and that's what it's about, man. That's how you win games.
For sure.
You got to stay together. You guys got to be on the same page. Even though y'all fell short, man, y'all made history. If I'm mistaken, yeah, UWM is that team that you were, your team, the UWM team, that was the first time in school history that y'all ever been to the Sweet 16, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's lightning in the bottle, man. I really hope that, you know, UW at some point can get back to that level. But it's like, you know, again, at a mid-major, and there's things I know now, at a mid-major, in order for something like that to happen, like you got to have a tremendous, like, it's like you got to have a three-head monster. You got to have a great athletic director at the time. And again, as I got older, I learned more about politics, and this is important to know. Maybe not so much when you playing, but it's like we had a great athletic director. Bud Haiti was our athletic director. He's our athletic director. Then you got to have a great chancellor. You know, chancellor's way up. You know, as a player, you'll never think about that, but you got to have at a mid-major, you got to have somebody that support everything that you need. Like we was flying private jets. Like in college, we was flying PJs. You know what I mean? We was flying 8-seaters to games. That ain't something UW did. Like typically, you know, you riding a bus. We was flying private jets to Detroit. We was living like high major guys. You know what I mean? So we flew three private jets to our conference games. We was living, but we was winning though. You know what I mean? We was producing money for the school. So when you produce money for the school, now, you know what I mean, some things can be moved around. Then we had Pearl. He understood what it took. You know what I mean? You riding the bus for a game, 8 hours, man, you're not getting off the bus fresh. You get off the bus lethargic, man. You flying PJ, you know what I mean? We flying out the private jet. We flying out of Timberman. We like league guys, you know what I mean? So we coming to the game in a whole different vibe now. We not bus guys no more. We PJ guys. So we gotta play like we coming off the PJ. So, you know, things was different then, man. But I do hope that UWM can get back, you know, to that level. But UWM been to the tournament when Clandon was there, my red shirt year. I went twice. And then a kid named Jordan Aaron from New York. He played Rucker. He's still going crazy out there. He took us to the tournament in 2014, and he beat Kiefer Sykes and them up there at Green Bay. So dude is a great, you know, he took us to this tournament. So UWM only been to the tournament 4 times. So my pitch for UW is like, you know, when you got an opportunity to go to school, so say you can go to UWM, and it got to be the right situation. You know what I mean? And I think right now is the right situation. I think, you know, it's got to be the right coach. You know, it's got to be somebody that ain't scared to play some games and do that type of thing. But it's like, you can go, say you got a chance to go to UWM, or you got a chance to go to like a low mid major. You know, I can't even say you go to VCU or something like that, you know, a lower high major. You know what I mean? You got a chance to do that. Like my advice would be, if the situation is right, if you come to UW, you're going to be part of history. If you good, you're going to write your own, you know what I mean? You're going to write your own story. I'm 7th in scoring all time. In 50 years, I'm still going to be top 15. You know what I mean? I'm in the history books forever. I'm in the Hall of Fame at UWM. I'm in the history books. It can't be taken away. You might be able to go to a higher school, and instead of playing, you're going to play. Now you're not going to play till your junior year, your sophomore year, your junior year. You come to UWM, you're going to play right away if you're good enough. This is if you're good. And you can etch your name in the history books and write your own story, where you might go to VCU or whatever school you may go to. You can go to school there and you may be pretty good, but you're just going to be another guy. You know what I mean? Like it may not be a Hall of Fame career. Like the guys, like when you go through these people you go through, like there's some guys that had amazing careers, but I don't know if they're going to be Hall of Fame because they went to a school where so many guys had amazing careers. Now, it ain't no knock on going to a big school because you got a chance to go to the NBA. But if the situation fits you, you got a chance to come to UWM and be one of them guys forever, which is, which ends up being special if you can, you can deliver on your end.
I agree with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, after you graduated, well, not after, but before you graduate, well, after the basketball season, I'm sorry. Yeah. What all awards you got? I know you got the history of the scoring.
Yeah, for sure.
All that. What all accolades did you, what all did you
I got, so my junior year, so one of the things I got was MVP of the tournament, a Horizon League tournament. So, obviously to get to the tournament, you got to play, in your conference tournament. So conference tournament, my junior year, I was MVP of the tournament. So that's, most outstanding player in the Horizon League. And then we won a tournament. And I think junior year and senior year, I was first team all Horizon League. My senior year, so again, they got some other stuff going on. So after Sweet 16 year, and again, this educational purposes. So after Sweet 16 year, and this how this works, and it's something else for the mid-major level, you got to understand, and really just going to college in general, this more game. So when you go to a school, you got to know where your coach is at. Is he on the hot seat? Is he going to be there? Is he about to take another job? Is he about to get fired? Because you want to play for a coach who really jam with you, you know what I mean? Who really fool with you. So after Sweet 16, at the mid-major level, we made history. You know what I mean? Bruce Pearl made history. So you go to the Sweet 16, you do something like that, Coach phone gonna be ringing. You know what I mean? So after the Sweet 16, we in the hotel, and like I said, we had a culture of hard work and playing hard. You know what I mean? Work hard, play hard. So if we worked hard, we play hard after that. So after Sweet 16, man, we had one heck of a party in the hotel, man, and we kicked it in. You know what I mean? Like I said, that was kind of and really that was the end of an era because they was gone. So the next morning we driving to the crib, Pearl called me. He man, JT, he I got to be honest with you. I got to keep it real with you. He and it's part of the business, and it is what it is. He man, I'm going down to Tennessee. He and if they offer me $1 million, I'm going to take it. I'm gone. I told him, man, this is what we do it for, man. You know what I mean? Real stuff. If somebody offered me 100 racks, I'm out of here on you. You feel me? So this is what we doing it. This is why we work hard. So he called me that morning. We was on the bus back, and he if they offer me a ticket, I'm gone. So he called me that night. He I accepted the job. It's gonna hit the media. Boom, boom, boom. In the next couple hours, he you one of my first calls. He man, this is tough. I don't want to leave, yada, yada, yada. I told him, man, bro, you got my blessings. It's all good. It ain't no hard feelings. This what it's about. This why you do it. This why you worked all these years. You know what I mean? So he got the job at Tennessee. So then we got a new coach. So we got a coach named Rob Jeter. Rob Jeter was up there with Bo Ryan at Wisconsin. So he came down. So for my senior year, man, me and Rob Jeter bump heads all crazy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm a 5th year senior. I'm 22 years old. I'm a grown up, you know what I mean? Especially for college. I'm grown. I got this whole college thing down, and, it's not that I didn't, I couldn't, I still had a lot of learning to do, but he was a young Black coach. And young Black coaches, they got to live by some different rules, you know what I mean? Because they got a much shorter leash. And he was just young. He was young in his career. So me and him bump heads. I was older and thought I knew probably more than I did. And he was a young coach and was trying to learn and really trying to establish his system. So again, that was some more adversity for me. So I'm coming off. I mean, it's a lot to my story. So I'm coming off Sweet 16, you dig? So, you know, if you go crazy in a tournament, you can go to the draft. You can get drafted. You know what I mean? So after the Sweet 16, and again, it's like, man, it's like I say, some of this, the untold story. So
Yeah.
after Sweet 16, like, man, I got calls from agents, kind of the whole nine, like everything. I averaged 25 in the tournament. We went Sweet 16. It's no different than coaching. In mid-major, if you go for a ride in the tournament, you get a job. Boom, you got a job. Darn near every time. So I'm coming off 25 in the tournament for 3 games. We go Sweet 16. I'm getting a lot of attention. So I get invited to pre-draft camp, NBA pre-draft camp. This basically like NBA pre-draft camp is like, it's the camp. If you get drafted, like the top 10 guys, the lotto picks don't work out, but everybody else in the draft is there. So pick 11 through 60, everybody at pre-draft. And it's only, you know what I mean? It's only 60 guys there. So out the 60 guys, you know, 45 kids getting drafted. So I get invited to pre-draft camp. Now this everything, you know what I mean? This the big joint. So, man, I get into some stuff pop off, man. It's an altercation. There's some things that happen, and I get my jaw broke. You know what I mean? So this after Sweet 16, it's like the summer of Sweet 16. So I get my jaw broke. My jaw wire shut for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. My jaw wire shut. I can't work out. So I got the invite to pre-draft camp, and I can't go to pre-draft camp. I couldn't work out. I can't get in no shape. I'm drinking through a straw. 6 weeks on some Kanye West stuff, like through the wire. You know what I mean? So that was like a huge opportunity for me, because coming from where I'm from, you gotta if you from UWM, you gotta strike while the iron's hot. You know what I mean? So the last thing that the NBA staff saw me was Sweet 16. So I could have snuck in. You know what I mean? I could have snuck in, got my name in the draft, and got drafted. I had a huge opportunity. So that was another thing where it was just kind of, you know, random situations, just some crazy stuff happened. And I wasn't able to go to pre-draft camp, and I had an invite. Now, mind you, like to get invited to pre-draft camp, that's unheard of, unless you get drafted. You know what I mean? Unless you're one of them guys. So it's not many guys, especially from the city, that have been to the pre-draft camp. So that was just another thing. So then, you know, I come back senior year and I get Coach Jeter. So Pearl was one of them, like he was one of them coaches where he was a player's coach. You know, if you had abilities and he saw you with them abilities in practice, he'll let you go. And you know, like I know, like a player's coach is much different. Like you could really do some stuff with a player's coach. So then I get Coach Jeter, and Coach Jeter is militant. You know what I mean? He all disciplined. He come in with the swing offense, the Bo Ryan, the slow it down, like, you know what I mean? And guys who play, they know what time it is. Like, I'm coming off what I'm coming off of, and he come institute this offense. Now Pearl had an offense where if you put the work in, it's your show. You know what I mean? So he come in with an offense where it's equal opportunity. You know what I mean? Guards, post, everybody shoot it, whoever open, shoot it. So my senior year, man, I led the team in scoring. I ain't had no plays my senior year. Not one play. Not one play call. After what I was coming off, after the season, after the year, you know, I came off of in the tournament, I didn't have a play call my senior year. So all year, we just going back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting kicked out of practice. Like, it's bad. You know what I mean? It's bad. So after the season, he tell me, he said, he like, JT, like, you know why we didn't get along all season? I'm like, man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm dying to know, like, what's happening? He said, before I got the job, you doing an article for JS Online, they asked you, how did you feel about the coach coming in? And this is true. They asked me, you know, what I thought about the coach coming in. It wasn't no coach. They hadn't hired nobody yet. And I told him, I'm like, I don't care who come in. It don't matter. Like, I'm a player. Like, regardless of who they bring in, I'm a college player. Like, they not going to consult with me. This not the NBA. They not calling me to say, do I like this guy or how do I feel about this offense? I just put the ball in the basket. That's it. So I don't care who coming in, whoever come in, if it's my daddy or whoever come in, I'm just gonna put the ball in the basket for one more year, and then I'm gonna keep it moving. So it don't matter to me. He said that rubbed him the wrong way. And again, you know, you play, so you understand, like, it'd be a lot of stuff going on, like in college basketball. It'd be a lot of egos, it'd be a lot of miscommunication. It'd be, like I say, this was his first year, so he was still learning. And I still got a relationship with Coach Jeter. You know what I mean? I talked to him, he got the job at Western Illinois a couple of years ago. And again, this years and years later, he tell me off the top, like, I call and congratulate him on the job. And actually, Al Henson is down there coaching with him now. And I call and congratulate him on the job. And the first thing he says is, and again, now I played for him in 06, this 2020. He like, JT, I swear to God, I'm going to get along with my best player, man. I swear to God. That's the first thing he say to me. I said, you know what? Like, real stuff, like all these years later, if you could understand that at this point, even though it's way past time, like, we good. You say no more. I know you understand now. You know what I mean? So, you know, it just, like I say, people's stories, everybody that come on and do this with you, like, people got so many stories of how they got to where they at and things that happened and things that went right and things that didn't go right. Like, and I think it's important for people to know, because it's a lot of stuff, you know what I mean, you're going to go through. It's going to be some trials and tribulations. And when you're going through the fire, like, that's what make you, like, like I say, the reason I'm able to do the things I'm doing, and the reason I've been able to get where I'm at, I've been through the fire, man. I'm battle tested, man.
Yeah, for sure, JT. Now, you know, this is all new to me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, this
the
ain't
basketball.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so for you to share your story, bro, and hearing all of this stuff, I'm gonna tell you this, JT. Out of everything we talked about, I'm gonna tell you what just really blew me. That you paid for school. Yo,
and that's like I said, man. I had to give an uncut. I might have to save something for my bio one year, but that just be part of it, man. It'd be a lot of stuff going on, like, people don't understand what happened. And like I said, at that point, like, I was able to get a loan. Like, my people, you know, where we come from, like, my people couldn't pay for school. They couldn't pay for me to go to school. So at that point, all because somebody was kind of playing with me about some ruling that I didn't understand, man, that could have been the end of my basketball career. So after my freshman year, it could have been over for JT Money. Like, it never would have been, none of this would have happened. And it was all because, like, it's like that systematic stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't understand how the game was being played, and it could have cost me my career. So it's important that, you know, when you get into the game, you understand, you know, what's going on and how things move and the rules before you sign up. So that's important, man.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let me ask you this, JT.
Yeah.
Now, you lost to Vincent your senior year, right?
Yeah.
And you lost to Illinois in the NCAA tournament. Which one hurt the most?
Vincent, easy. Vincent, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Illinois, it was what it was. I had 30-some, you know, it's a wrap. Like, you know, we gonna keep it moving. I still had another year, you feel me? So senior year, I'm playing against all my homeboys, all my brothers. You know what I mean? I'm playing in front of all my people. We winning the game that we wasn't supposed to win. It wasn't even really supposed to be close. It was me against 5 of my, you know what I mean? 5 guys just like me who going to play Division I basketball. So it was tough. Danny Grunfeld went to Stanford. He was a stud, you know what I mean? And he was he was a little younger, but he was a stud. He had 25 that game, so he played well. So it was him and I versus, you know, 6 or 7 of other Division I athletes. So it was tough. So that game, because it was my last game, like I say, I ain't never cried about a game in my life. That game, nigga, I boo-hooing. I'm crying like a baby. I was big sad. So yeah, that game easy. You know what I mean? Because like I say, at UWM, I had another year and it was still, you know, still more basketball to be played. Vincent, man, that was my last high school game. So like I said, I think it's funny because I'm just a competitor. I'm this 20 years later. Like I said, I watched the game. I'm still watching the game kind of on pins. And he was like, man, like, you know, how this going to shake out? Even like, so my homeboy, I played with AAU with him too. Marcus Canigliaro, he played with Vincent. He come in, he had 3-4 trades. Like, you know, it was just, you know, it was me against the world that game. Me and Danny against the world, basically, is what it came down to. It is what it is. Say it again.
I said, Mark is my boy too, dog.
Yeah. So, and it's got to go on the record. You know what I mean? Playground Warriors. You know what I mean? That's where it all started at. Man, we won 3 national chips. You know what I mean? 3 national championships. you know, we the best AAU team in the history of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So now that put me on, you know, the best class in Wisconsin history. And I debate that with anybody. Can't nobody see our class. We had 2 leaguers plus 20 some other Division I guys, and the Playground Warriors, best AAU team in the history. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Now let's go back to, all right, so you leave do you think that situation you got into with your jawbone wire shut, do you think that hurt your chances going to the NBA? Because you wind up going overseas right after that, right? Like, how did that go?
So remember, I come back for my senior year. So I come back senior year, and we go back to the tournament. Now we got 7 fifth-year seniors coming back. So we was loaded. We got the same team we went to the Sweet 16 with, minus James Wright and Ed McCants. So that was a big part of what we did, huge part. Ed McCants was Player of the Year in the Horizon League. So he was a dog. He was an animal. Like, he was real high level good. East Bay, the whole 9. He shot 40 from the tray. He got the record for trays at UWM. So he was crazy. Jay Wright was the heart of our team. You know what I mean? Jay Wright, with no Jay Wright was another guy who stats wasn't crazy, but we wouldn't have been very good without Jay Wright. Like, he was our guy. Like, you know, so I knew Jay Wright from who he was at Vincent. So Jay Wright broke his leg, and obviously his career took a different path because he lost a lot of his athleticism, and it changed his game. But I knew Jay Wright as the guy, the high flying, like the animal, you know what I mean? So he still had all the intangibles and all that. He just didn't have all his athleticism. But, you know, when Jay Wright came on the court on our second unit, I was untouchable. Couldn't nobody do nothing with me because big homie behind me. I know what time. What you say? Oh, okay. Yeah, act right. Big homie in the game. We about to go crazy. So they left. So my senior year, we went back to the tournament. We played Oklahoma. We played Oklahoma my senior year, first round. We beat them. You know what I mean? We beat them, have a good tournament game again. Then in the second round, we played Florida. We played Florida in Gainesville. So we played 2-time. I think that was maybe the first year they won a chip. So that was Joe Kim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer. We played all them guys. So we played them in Gainesville, the whole crowd from Florida, everybody from, you know what I mean, everybody from Florida watching the game. We had, 100 fans down there. So we lose to them. So we lose to the national championship. So we played a runner-up in Illinois my junior year. And then we play the national champions my senior year. So we lose to them we probably get smacked like 10, 12 points. So that was the end of my career, and we lost to them. But by that time, man, like I say, I had bumped heads with the coach. I'm ready to get up out of college, man. It's time to go get some money now. So, man, because of my Sweet 16 performance, man, like I was plugged in with agents and everything. Like, it was all good. So I signed with D-Wade agent, a guy named Hank Thomas. Hank Thomas was Devin agent, and Hank was a D-Wade agent. So after my senior year, I was plugged in. Like, I stayed in Chicago all summer, and man, I worked out. We worked out with Tim Grover. So, like, it was crazy. We worked out with Tim Grover. Tim Grover was Mike trainer. Tim Grover got famous training Michael Jordan. So I'm in Chicago working out with Tim Grover, and I get invited back to pre-draft camp. So I'm going to the camp again where all the draft picks going. So we working out 2 times a day. Basketball is life. Like, and when I played in college, like, I couldn't really shoot the tray in high school. I mean, in college that well. Like, I was a bruiser. Like I said, I played 3-4. I could handle the ball. I played guard. I played guard. I played the perimeter, and then I played some big. So for me, the transition to the league was playing 2-3, coming from playing 3-4. And again, this is another thing about my era where it was different. Like, I never practiced NBA trays. You know what I mean? It just wasn't it wasn't even no gyms with NBA 3-point lines. Now I went out there and put garbages out there, you know what I mean? I put stuff out there to simulate it, but I never played in a game, or I never played and practiced with NBA 3-point lines. So after my senior year, I work out with Mike Trainer. I play NBA Summer League. Like I say, I'm plugged in. I got a great agent. They take good care of me. I play NBA Summer League with the Miami Heat. So I go down there, and Eric Spoelstra, who is the coach now, was my coach for NBA Summer League. So my agent, He had me in a good situation. They had, and again, it's more of the infrastructure of basketball that you really don't understand when you play. So Miami Heat coming off winning the chip, they ain't had no draft picks. So either you make the league by getting drafted, or you make the league by being a free agent and signing through summer league. So you got to make a summer league roster. You go to summer league, you go to training camp for summer league. It's a week or 2 weeks. So I play with the Miami Heat. I play with Eric Spoelstra. They plug me in. Man, I play like 25, 30 minutes a game, bro. Like, and something I can look back at and something I'm not sour about is, man, I had every opportunity to make the NBA. That was my opportunity. Like, we played summer league. He is now the head coach of the Miami Heat, but he was assistant coach. I mean, he was the summer league coach. And my agent got me into a situation where I played 25, 30 minutes a game. I had every opportunity to make the NBA. Like, I had a legit chance. It was in my hands. And I couldn't make NBA threes, man. I couldn't make them at a high percentage. You know what I mean? They signed 4 kids off my team. Chris Quinn, is his name Chris Quinn? He went to Notre Dame. He's still on the coaching staff now today. White dude.
Yeah.
He played with me. A guy named Vince Greer went to Minnesota. He played with me. So in the NBA, they got a lot of different deals now. Like, they got Exhibit 10 deals. They got all type of different deals. But before, you could sign for vet camp. And if you sign for vet camp, you play like the mini camp of like before the season. So if you signed a vet camp deal, you would play like September. And if you stayed on the roster past like the middle of October, you would get your whole check. But they signed 4 regular guys. Like, so if you don't get drafted in the 60 picks, you know what I mean? Like, so when I finished school, I had like probably 7 or 8 NBA workouts, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, you working out to see if they'll draft you. So Dallas had the 57th pick. Like, in my Dallas workout, I crushed my Dallas workout. It was my best workout. Like, and something I didn't realize when I was playing was, like, with repetition and working out, you can learn to shoot. You know what I mean? So I'm practicing. When I'm with Grover and them, we working out, we working out 2 times a day. We worked out in the morning, 10 o'clock, boom, we chill. We come back and work out at 2 o'clock. So I did that all summer. So at the end of the summer, now I can shoot the ball. You know what I mean? So now I'm a different player. You know what I mean? So now I can shoot the ball. So we get down to Miami, we play, but now the pressure on. Now I'm like some of my homeboys in the Illinois game. So now you got, you open all the personnel, at Summer League. If you ever been down there, Summer League, now it's guys grinding to make teams for their livelihood. And now you open, I'm like the guys on the Lakers, like how the Lakers are now. Man, I couldn't throw it in the ocean. Like, it's just, I made shots, but shooting an NBA 3, coming from playing 3-4 to making a transition to play 2-3 all in the summer was too much. Yeah, it was moving too fast. So I missed my opportunity, but like I said, it was in my hands though. You know what I mean? I had a true opportunity. I wasn't a guy who, man, I could have made the league, I could. No, I really, it was really right there for me. I went to pre-draft. I did all that. I played Summer League. I played Summer League 3 years. So after my first year overseas, and we'll go back to that, but after my first year overseas, so now, again, it's a new transition. Like when you go from high school to college to transition with the terminology and all that, you got to learn all that. So now going from college playing 3-4 to going to NBA Summer League and playing with the NBA guys, now you got to learn a whole new terminology. And you got to learn a whole new system and plays and all that. So when I get to Summer League, making the transition, it was moving kind of fast for me. Like I said, I'm a man, I can admit that. Like, I could play ball at that point, you seen my footage. I could go. Yeah. But now you playing with so and it's the thing, and this is what people got to understand. So this real basketball. So in Horizon League, then it's the difference in leagues and mid-major, high major, and all that. So Horizon League, boom, I'm on the perimeter. I'm playing my guy. I beat my guy. Boom, I beat him. I'm at the second level. It's 3 levels of scoring. Use threes, mid-range, or at the rim. So now, mid-major, boom, I beat my man. You could get to the mid-range, but at the mid-major, you're not facing no athletic 7-footer. So now, I don't even got to really have a mid-range game. I'm to the rim. I beat my man, and now I'm challenging a 6'8" dude. I'm finishing on him. He good. Now you go to the league, and if you beat your man, who probably gonna be more skilled than you and maybe long, you know what I mean? So once you beat your man, it's a footer behind there. It's a footer back there. And you not get it ain't no layups at the next level. You know what I mean? So now you got to have a tween game. You got to be able to float. You got to be able to pull up. You know what I mean? So the game different. So now you get to summer league. Now I'm nice. I beat my man. What? Nigga, it's a footer back there. And he not playing. That's what he in the league for. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's different. You know, it's different at that level. But again, having an opportunity, man, was dope. So anyway, so sophomore year, I come back from overseas, and now I'm at the point like, man, I done worked on my game. I'm going to the league. Like, I know everything I need to know. I know the play calls. I know a vet camp about. I know a mini camp about. I understand how it's moving. So, like, when you go to summer league, you on NBA per diem. Like, you in the league. You moving with how summer league work is they put the two last guys on the roster, NBA roster, 13 guys, 15 guys. They put the 13th and 14th man on the NBA team, and they just run all the plays for them, and you run their system. So I played with a guy named Earl Barron who went to Memphis. He was a center. He played on them championship Heat teams. He was the backup to Shaq. And then a kid named Darrell Wright. And Darrell Wright, he played with Miami for like 5 or 6 years, and he was straight out of high school. So then was my summer league guy. So boom, that was my NBA and my Heat experience. So I come back from overseas and I play with Detroit. My agent still got me plugged in. Terry Porter, my coach. He my summer league coach. So they draft Aaron Aflalo out of UCLA. And like I say, with the Heat, I played 25, 30 minutes a game. The opportunity was there. I just had to make shots. If I'd have made shots, if I'd have made open trays, I make the NBA easy, no problem. I just had to make shots. I didn't. So my sophomore year, I come back and play for the Pistons. Now my mind ready, my body ready, my game ready. I'm mentally, physically, I'm ready to go. I'm about to make the league. I play with Detroit. They draft Aaron Aflalo. We play the same position. He played like 2-3. You know what I mean? He was a shooting guard. So we go through training camp. At the end of training camp, Terry Porter called me into his office. He like, man, you know, JT, I'm from the city. You from the city. He like, you played unbelievable. Mini camp, you played unbelievable. Like, you outplayed this guy. He like, in summer league, you're not going to play a minute. You're not going to play 1 minute. I'm like, dang. He like, we drafted this kid. He getting paid for sure. He locked into a contract. He like, you're not going to play. You know what I mean? And that was it. That was it. That was my look. I had 2 years. And the year when I was ready, the opportunity had passed. And that's just, you know, that's just how I work. You know, for the NBA, for the guys that you done had on here, and the guys from the city, or anybody who had the opportunity to play in the NBA, like, you one of 400 people in the world. Like, it's rare. Like, to make the NBA is a dream of everybody's, but it's 400 spots in the whole world. And most, you know, every year is probably an open 50 spots because, you know, it ain't no big rotation. Mm-hmm. So if you make the league, you know, DGs and the Bikes and the Landrys and all the guys that if you put on a jersey in an NBA game, you're one of the best in the world. It's one of the highest respects you could ever be paid as a basketball player. NBA, the best league in the world. And to get in, it's, you know, it's tough, man. It's the real deal. So, you know, and that window, the window is you know, the window is tight. It closed quick. So I had my opportunity. I had 2 years. And like I say, the time I was ready, he called me to the office. He said, not a minute. You won't play not a minute. And I played about 2 minutes a game, and I was ready to go. And you know, in the league, like, it's guys in the league that could play. You just don't get the opportunity. So, but again, like I say, I don't have no ill feelings. Like, it all worked out. I'm not tripping at all. And like I say, to make the NBA would have been phenomenal. And it's probably really the only thing in my life that I wanted to do that I didn't get a chance to do. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, that's how I shake out sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, man. But man, I remember interviewing DG, and he said, like, man, when that door cracked, you got to slide through it because, man, it can close quick in the NBA.
Right, you got to be ready. You got to be ready.
Yeah. So with you going to the Sweet 16, having that, going to the NBA Summer League, workout, camps, all of that, did that help you land big contracts for overseas?
Oh, for sure. So, I mean, so another thing is, like, really, like after my junior year, and again, it's more the business side. Like after my junior year, I believe I would have been drafted, even if it was like the 53rd, 54th pick. You know what I mean? Somebody just kind of take a chance on you. Like if you get hot in the tournament, it's just how it works. Like I forget the kid name. He played for the Bulls. He went to LSU. He wasn't even really Tyrus Thomas, I think his name was. He was like the second year he came out. But he wasn't even, he was tall, you know, he was like 6'8", 6'9". He ended up only playing a couple years in the league, but he went to LSU and he just went crazy in the tournament. They just drafted him. And they just take a chance on you sometime if you show really well in the tournament, because the tournament is the highest level of basketball. So sometimes they take a chance on you. So the thing is, like, if I wouldn't have had that situation my junior year and I would have put my name in the draft, even if I didn't make a team, I feel like I would have got drafted. And if you got the draft stamp on your name, you get paid overseas. Now, they don't really care so much about once you get over there, they don't care who you are or what you did over there. You're going to have to prove it. But, you know, you get a league stamp on your name and you get 150, 200. You know what I mean? You're going to get paid off the rip. So, but with the Sweet 16, with the agents and with the connections I made, I was able to get to a place. Like my first year, I played in the first league in France. And again, like, it's just like college. Like when I got to Missouri Valley was like the 8th best conference in the league, you know, in college basketball. When I played in France, in the first league in France, France was probably like the 5th best league over there, maybe 5th or 6th, somewhere between 3 and 7. You know what I mean? The first league in Spain, the ACB, is the best league. That's the league under the NBA. Then the league in Italy, you know what I mean? Maybe the league in Greece, you know what I mean? And then it's like France and Germany, you know what I mean? So them like the top 5 leagues over there. So my first year, because of my success in the tournament, I was able to get a deal, you know what I mean? So I went to the first league in France and I did like 14-5 my first year in France. So I killed my first year in France. I had a real good year my first year in France. I was in the first league, and pretty much in overseas basketball, and anybody who'd have been on here and the people that are coming in the future, for one, if you get a good job, and it's different now too, but if you get a good job, you go on in August. So right now it's October. You know what I mean? It's November 1st. The overseas season start, like the games start like October, 1st of October. But you know, you got to go meet your team and have training camp. So guys who get good jobs, like if you know anybody that play, like you supposed to be out of here in August. You know what I mean? If you got a good job, you go in August. Because that means you own a team, you locked in, and you go through training camp with your team. So now that really give you the best opportunity to play. So you get there and just say August 15th. Every year I played, I was going in August. I signed my contract. I signed a 1-year deal every year of my 5-year career. So you sign a 1-year, I signed a 1-year deal. If you could sign 2-year deals, that's better for you if you're able to do that. But then you kind of locked in. But if you're able to play overseas, good teams, good programs, good leagues, you go in August, and if you play well in a good league, typically you're going to double up. You know what I mean? You play well in a good league, say you making 50, 60. And again, things different now because it's a little more watered down because more people playing, you know what I mean? And I feel like people just start going for any type of money, you know what I mean? But say you make 50, 60, 70, you know what I mean? You play well, you do your job. My first year, you know what I mean? You play well, 14-5. You pretty much gonna add 50, 60, 70% to your salary if you play well in a good league. If you know, because when you get over there, they're gonna start you on like a starter contract. You know what I mean? So you make some decent little money. But if you play well and show you could play, now your sophomore year, now you're gonna make, you know, some real good money. So my first year, I played well, and I was able to get into a situation where I got into a real good situation my sophomore year, my second year playing. You know what I mean? So overseas was good to me.
Yeah, man, that's dope, JT, man. Like just hearing this story right now, man, it really just, man, because you know, I never really, like, when I see you, it's always what's up, JT, or hooping or whatever. So just to sit down and hear everything you've been through and to see where you at today, because I always hear good things about you, man. It really just like put a smile on my face, dog.
Oh,
like,
for sure. And I'm here to inspire, man. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like when you get into a situation, like you can't do something if you, like, a lot of times it's easier if you've seen somebody do it. Like I'm somebody, and again, when you look at people's resumes and you see what people done, like if people got dreams, and I'm not saying nobody got to call me, but if somebody trying to go where I've been, like I'm available to the community as far as like, I'm an open book as far as where I've been, you know what I mean? So the highest level I went was NBA Summer League. So if you a guy who really trying to get to the NBA, I can give you enough information for NBA Summer League. I got the information there. That's the furthest I went. I can't go no further. And then I played as a high level European player. So I got that information. And then if you want to go past that, as far as after basketball, which is something I really want to focus on, like when the ball stopped bouncing, like I got that game as well. So it's some things that I can help with, not even necessarily the next generation, just anybody coming behind me. And I think it's important that we share that game. Like I said, that's why I think that this lane you done picked up, this podcast, this lane is dope, man. I'm happy for you, man. I don't know if I said that, but I'm real happy for you, man. And like you said, hearing my story, like I don't know all your story in the hoop community. When you know somebody through the hoop community, it's just love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just love. So seeing what happened when people stop playing and when people finish school and watching people be successful, like, man, I just like, I got a lot of love for the hoop community, man. And the hoop community been good to me in the city of Milwaukee. And it's really something that it should be highlighted more, because everybody you have on here gonna say the same thing. Like, Milwaukee basketball helped make me. You know what I mean? They helped make me who I am and help get me to a lot of places I've been in. And something that, like I say, we get a lot of, I can't even say we get a lot of bad press. Like, we get the press sometimes we deserve. Like, we got some bad numbers in the city. Like, we got some bad statistics that go with the city. But something that don't get enough attention is the hoop community. The hoop community been super trill. Like, in my time, man, I just, you know, I done been through some things, man. And it's like, I ain't never had a problem with a basketball guy. Yeah. Never, ever. I ain't never had no issues with nobody from the community, really. It just always been love. You know, you even at these times, like, you go to the All County, like, it's just a lot of love in the building. And I can say, when I go places in Milwaukee, like, you know what it is, like, it's not always a love feeling. It be some other feelings out there. So anywhere basketball, everybody who I ever played with or whoever watched the game, it's a lot of love. Guys show a lot of love to people who played, because, you know, we was in the trenches. We played, man, we grinded, and it's a mutual respect for you and that guy, saying no different than you and I, you know what I mean? So, and it's a brotherhood, so it's dope.
Yeah, for sure. And talking about, since you brought it up, life after basketball, I know you an entrepreneur. Yeah. And you also play golf. Man, so have you been enjoying life after basketball? How you doing on the golf field, man?
Man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I told you before we got on, you know what I mean? If you didn't play, and I put this out there too, and we gonna, you know, we gotta pop our, you know what I mean? We gotta pop off a little bit. Like, golf, that's, you know, that's what I do for a pastime now. Like, that's something I do to stay competitive. Like, now I just came from 35 and up. I'm MVP of the 35 and up league, you know what I mean? So on a good day, now my body can't stand up to basketball like it used to. Basketball rough on the body. I got a lot of years on my body, you know what I mean? I played for a long time, so I can't go like I used to. I'm getting older. But I told guys, don't poke the bear. You know what I mean? I played in the 35 and up league, Q. I'm out there playing. I'm just out there kicking it, minding my business, right? We playing, we kind of doing our thing. And young boy, and I don't even know if a young was 35 and up, boy got mouthy with me. You know what I mean? I'm out there for cardio. And I think that situations where, you know, everybody not familiar with your background and your resume. So a boy he got mouthy with me, and I had to go on my bag a little bit and put him on notice and put the league on notice. Like, come on, fellas. Like, if y'all not familiar with JT Money, I'm really one of them boys. Like, I'm not one of these just average guys out here. Yeah. And I still go crazy too. Like I say, I had to put a little stat up, like, playing, it's a lot of levels to basketball. I was blessed to play at a high level. So when you play basketball, like, I know the real game of basketball. So when you playing against a guy who just play for fun, it's not close. Yeah. It's not, even if I'm, you know what I mean, I'm older. Yeah. I really play basketball. So if you put refs out there, like, that's real basketball, I'm still gonna be a problem. So act accordingly. That go for everybody. If you see me out there in these little leagues, act right. Don't jump in the street. Just act right. Mind your business.
Have another Jared Dudley story.
Yeah, no, I like to talk trash. I like to get after it. Just, let's play basketball. Let's have some fun. I'm there for cardio. But if you fire me up, I will give you what you want. Now, it's limited time, though, because I don't know how much more I got. Like I said, I do, man. Golf is it. Golf is low stress on the body, man. But again, on the links, if you ain't play college golf or you ain't come up in no country club and you look like me, I'll sweat you down. Don't even worry about it. I'll sweat you. I'm a single-digit handicap guy. So if you play golf, you know what that is. I'm single-digit handicap. I'm serious out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, y'all here, whoever, if y'all playing, I know y'all gonna be tuning in watching this. If y'all want to play JT, there you go, man. Because JT being AZ, he out here playing golf. Like, you do it in Wisconsin.
No, we taking them trips. And, you already know, sign up, subscribe to the podcast, check it out. I'm looking forward to, like I say, man, I ain't super savvy on the net. I ain't subscribed to YouTube, but I'm going to go and subscribe. Like I said, I done seen all the clips. I done checked out every clip. I'm going to go on and subscribe and figure out how to do that on YouTube and subscribe so I can get everybody's story. Because I want to hear everybody's bio. Like I say, this interesting to me, man. I love it. Like I said, I really love to hear how people got there, but I really love to hear their story, where they at now, and what they got planned for the future. And like I say, really my message to the people is like, ball is, like I started this with not letting ball use you, you got to use basketball. And it's like at some point, no matter how, like even you look at LeBron James, and obviously LeBron James he abnormal, like he an outlier. He played 20 years, but even LeBron James, he about to be done playing basketball. And, obviously we can't compare, he a billionaire, but when you look at his story, it's always relative, So even when you look at LeBron James, you look at what he was able to do playing basketball, like how he got there is relative to the fact that he's obviously a superhuman talent, but he worked extremely hard to get where he was at. He worked hard, then he spent money taking care of his body to play 20 years. And not only did he do that, but then in business, he positioned himself to make moves and make movies and make all these plays and leverage himself to put himself in position to be the first billionaire basketball player ever while he was playing. So if you compare that to your situation, maybe you don't reach $1 billion, but maybe you 1,000 there, which it ain't nothing wrong with that. The same principles apply. You gotta work hard on your craft. You gotta earn your stripes. And then at some point, you're gonna have to roll that over into a career or something after basketball. Because even if you look at the guys, who play in the league, like that money is not enough money to sustain you for your whole life. Basketball only gonna last for so long. And it's gotta be something. You ask any of the young boys who I try to take up under my wing or I try to get a game to, like I said, I'm about to be 40 this year. So everybody behind me, if I got any type of relationship with you, I preach the same thing. Man, basketball awesome. While you playing, go crazy. Work on your craft, live and diet. Like people who play basketball, like something you got to understand. Basketball, being a professional basketball player, it's not something you do part-time. You can't be a professional basketball player and work at Menards. Yeah. It ain't how I work, unfortunately. Like basketball is a full-time job. Like when this time, like people go to work, you got to go work on your jump shot. That's how professional basketball work. But at the same time, you got to understand that when you get to the latter years of your career, even if you was blessed to make a ton of money and be in great situations and get great contracts, when you turn 38, 39 and you stop playing, that money not going to be enough to last you for the rest of your life and take care of your kids and take care of your wife and take care of your family. You're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to have to fall back on something, and have picked up a skill where you can earn for yourself. And that's really my message. That's the most important part, because that's where I'm at now. Mm-hmm. I'm an entrepreneur. Now I'm off into my career, and now I got to take care of my family. Basketball don't pay the bills no more. It used to pay the bills. I used to get paid playing ball. I was a professional player, and it was good to me. But at some point, you're gonna have to do something else. And what is that gonna be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what type of capacity, like what type of skills have you learned? What you gonna do? What you passionate about? Even if it's coaching or whatever it is, like you gotta have a backup plan. And that's very, very important.
Dude, I'm so glad you said that, JT. Man, these kids got to know this. You know, even these young men that's in college right now, you know, and they watching, you know, tuned into the bar, you know, the platform. You got to have a plan A, B, and C, dude. Because I'm telling you, when basketball over, you're gonna be lost. You know, you ain't gonna know how to function. You're gonna have to go to work and be like, hold on, what? I ain't used to this. And then you can just get thrown all off track. But bro, big bro, before I let you go, just pick one. I'm gonna name 10 players, but I'm clearing them up.
Yeah.
Just pick one.
Yep.
Dupree Fletcher or Draylon Burns?
Oh, this what we doing?
This is what we doing. I'm putting you on the spot. See, if you tuned into the show, if you subscribe, you know what I do at the end.
So I'm gonna go Draylon. All respect to Pre. Pre is a great, and obviously you know you put them names in place because they match up well. Draylon more my class. I know Pre was an animal. You know what I mean? Pre was one of them guys. He was special, one of them few guys. I'm gonna go Draylon because his pro career.
Okay.
In his game, Draylon, you know, obviously Draylon was a dog. He had game. He's still playing. You know what I mean? Exactly. Draylon had a special game. He had like a ball, like he was built like me, but he shoot the ball. Like Draylon was a stud. Both of them super studs. Dre played longer. I'm gonna go with Draylon.
Okay. Trey Jefferson or Billy Memmis?
You knew what you was doing with this. Yeah, so you know, Bill though, like that's my young boy. I'm gonna go with Trey. You know, obviously Bill was great. Bill was great young. You know what I mean? Bill was great. 6th, 7th grade. He was outstanding, great at Vincent. Trey Jefferson came on later on and had some success in YouTube, success in the whole 9, college success. So for me, it's about how far you can go. So I'm gonna go Trey Jefferson. Trey Jefferson, another kid who, you know, special talent for sure.
Okay.
And all love to the PGC, you know, my guy Billy.
Oh yeah, I know.
Sure, you already know it. He family.
Yeah, family all my life.
Yeah.
Q-Mont Greer or Carl Landry?
Now I gotta go against my principal, right? So Carl Landry, another one, PGC for life. Like Carl Landry was a great, and you know, Carl Landry was a late bloomer. So like I said, and Carl Landry was a guy who played behind them guys at Vincent. You know, I mean, he was a young boy, but he played behind Q-Mont and all those guys. And obviously, we played Q-Mont. We played Carl Landry at Purdue. Carl Landry was unstoppable. Me and Jay Wright hanging all over him. We went down to Purdue and we beat Purdue. But Carl Landry was amazing. But I got to go with Wools. Wools individually, his game. You know, Carl game was built more for the NBA because his size and his position. But as far as like playing, Q-Mont was one of my favorite players to ever come out the city. Q-Mont was unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay.
We talking about 20 in the Big East at DePaul. You know, now Carl went to the league and he did well at Purdue, but Wools was amazing. I'm gonna go and again, Wools was more my class, so I'm gonna be biased towards my class. I'm going with Q.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry Smith or Ricky Franklin?
Keep doing it to me. He keep doing it to me. Rick, my brother from UW. I'm gonna go with Jerry Smith. You know, Jerry Smith was a guy who played, had a great career at Louisville, still playing to this day. Now I'm in a unit where, you know, and talk about a guy who, you know, talk about life after basketball. Rick is an entrepreneur and an electrician. He chose a different route. You know what I mean? After he finished playing basketball, had an amazing year at amazing career at UWM. Now he's an electrician. He's off into his entrepreneurial career. So he's doing something different. Jerry Smith's still playing right now. So I'm going to go with Jerry Smith, longevity. Got to put on that lead jersey, man. Jerry Stamp, you know what I mean? He had a great career, high school, college, pro. So Jerry.
Okay. All right, last one.
Hey, shout to my Panther brother. You know what time? You know it.
Yep. Last one, big bro. Corey Lucius or Dwight Bikes?
I gotta go with Bikes. I'm gonna go with Bikes again. same reasoning. Bikes was able to get that dream that everybody dreamed about. You know what I mean? Making the NBA, putting an NBA jersey, having NBA highlights, having an NBA run, having an outstanding professional career. Obviously, Corey Lucius again, man. I love the history. I know Lucius. I know he got a chance to play some professional basketball and have some opportunity. Obviously, another guy who, like Billy, was great young and went to Michigan State and went to Iowa State. You know what I mean? So had a great career. Bikes had a longer career and still playing, to this day, playing at a high level. So Bikes, but again, obviously, all these comparisons were great comparisons. But yeah, Bikes had a great career. He's another one of those guys who, went to Marquette and is one of my favorite players as far as his story and what he was able to do, his progression throughout the years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, JT, for coming on the platform, coming to the Barcode podcast. I'm doing it for us. I'm doing it for the kids. I'm doing it for the city of Milwaukee, man. I appreciate you so much taking the time out your day, bro.
Yeah.
And vibing and taking us on your journey, bro. I appreciate you so much coming to the Barcode podcast, bro.
Hey, you already know, man. Love for having me, man. I appreciate you having me as a guest. Like you said, all them things you said for the kids, for the community. That's what's important. You know what I mean? Next level stuff. That's what's important. I want the kids to have I want the kids to be better than I was. I want them to have all the opportunities I had. And I think this information is important. Like I said, I had OGs who I just looked up to. I ain't never get to hear their stories and understand how they got there and the bumps in the road they hit. So OG to me is about, if I hit a pothole, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't no reason for you to hit that same pothole. It's no reason that anybody come behind me if they still doing stuff with releasing people out there, scholarships and all that type of stuff. If they still doing, you know what I mean? All the things, the problems I had and any of the issues I had, or even my things where I was shining, like, they should know about all that, so they can do much better than that. So like I said, this lane is dope, man. It was a pleasure. It was an honor for me to be here. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the other guests that came on. Shout out to the city, man. I got love for the community, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing, the rest of the episodes and where this thing take off to. Like I said, in today's day and age, like this digital creating content, this is where it's at. You know what I mean? So I got a vision to see this thing go crazy. You feel me? Like, go crazy. I can see that happening, 1 million views type stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing this thing take off and things take off for you and continue to go well. You a good dude, you know what I mean? And when you got good energy, good vibes, things happen well. The reason you able to have the guests you able to have is because of respect you got in the city and the rhythm you to move with for your lifetime. You know what I mean? Nowadays, like now, it's crazy. I was just telling my bro, people come to you in business and they come to you in different walks of life. But if you ain't been solid coming up, I don't jam with you. Like if you hadn't been solid or your resume wasn't solid out here and you called me for this, I wouldn't do this for everybody. You feel me? You know what I mean? So when you valid, it go a long way, man. So I'm happy for you.
Man, thank you.
Man, and I look forward to seeing the episodes, man.
I appreciate that. It's your second time, Jay, on the court. Hey, second time. You all county, man, put Q in. I said, oh shit. And then you saying them kind words, man. I appreciate you, man. Man, I appreciate you, JT.
Brother.
My word, bro.
For sure. Peace.
All right, love, baby. Peace out.
Just touched out, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode.